Peace and Pan Africanism, peace and Pan Africanism. Peace and Pan Africanism, peace and Pan Africanism. Peace and Pan Africanism, peace and Pan Africanism.
How are you doing?
How we doing there, gorgeous?
All right, I want to try your black-eyed pea hummus.
Okay.
I also want to do sesame kale salad.
Large or small?
Large.
Okay.
And what is tempeh? What is that?
Tempeh is cultured soy.
It's cultured soy. Let me go with I'm gonna try it. The smothered
Tempeh?
How we doing there, gorgeous? How we doing there, gorgeous? How we doing there, gorgeous?
I attended 3 predominantly white colleges.
How we doing there, gorgeous?
I went to Millersville University in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, predominantly white.
How we doing there, gorgeous?
Lehigh University, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, predominantly white.
How we doing there, gorgeous?
Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine, predominantly white.
How we doing there, gorgeous?
There were white girls who were attracted to me in undergrad.
How we doing there, gorgeous?
There were white girls who were attracted to me in graduate school.
How we doing there, gorgeous?
There were white girls attracted to me in my doctoral program.
How we doing there, gorgeous?
I've always had white women who were interested in a romance with the Prince of Pan Africanism.
How we doing there, gorgeous?
I've always had that. They bought me clothes. They slid stuff under my door. They invited me out to dinner. They offered me cookies from their cookie jar.
How we doing there, gorgeous?
They left cards on my desk in the middle of class for everybody to see it. Yes, I had white women pursue me at every level of education.
How we doing there, gorgeous?
Did I date a single one? I did not. Did I disrespect them? I did not. I respect all human beings. I respect all human beings. But I did not date any of them. Were some of them attractive? Absolutely.
How we doing there, gorgeous?
Some of them were built just like black women.
How we doing there, gorgeous?
Some of them grew up with black women.
How we doing there, gorgeous?
Those white women were not unattractive at all.
How we doing there, gorgeous?
5'5", thick in the thighs, but they were Caucasian.
How we doing there, gorgeous?
They were 5'5", thick in the thighs, but they were Caucasian. They were 5'5", thick in the thighs, but they were Caucasian.
How we doing there, gorgeous?
And I did not have intercourse with any of them. Ever. Ever.
How we doing there, gorgeous?
Okay?
I done found condoms, alcohol bottles all over the place. This is not the drink spot.
Cows, horses, chickens.
Buck, buck, the loosey goosey. You buck, 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 the loosey goosey. You buck, 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 buck,
I'm gonna go to the pet store and I'm gonna get about 50 baby mice. And the minute one of you Negroes starts squealing about election day, I'm gonna throw a mice on your ass. Black pigs.
All right. Thank y'all so much for tuning on in. Welcome to the live stream. We got a whole lot to get into. I'm going to try to get this done in 2 hours. Cookie Crush Chat is undefeated. Let's get right on into it. Child support man's coming. Let's go.
FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. It's coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG, it's coming. 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 Oh, it's coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. Thought his personality be twerking. It's twerking.
right. Thank you all so much for tuning on in. Welcome to the live stream. Let's get on into it. We got quite a bit to get to. Good question. Thank you so much for tuning on in. Also, Miles, thanks for handling business. We did a live stream earlier today. If you didn't check it out and you're interested, it's dealing with politics and some of the shenanigans that's been going on. Please take a look when you have some time. During this live stream, I want to specifically talk about Umar Johnson and his rhetoric about child support, and then also him coming up with the conspiracy theory concerning Tyrese Gibson's alleged arrest. And I'm saying alleged because I'm seeing conflicting reports on this, but it deals with child support. So what I like to do is I want to first pull up an article dealing with Tyrese. I'm going to read through that. And then we're going to get into Umar Johnson's commentary on this particular issue. I haven't watched the video yet, but I did have a credible source tell me that Umar is basically he's come up with a conspiracy theory as to why this is happening to Tyrese Gibson. But I have a sense that Umar's perspective on this is really rooted in his own personal experience, more specifically the fact that he is a deadbeat and he's been on child support. He was on child support for over 20 years. And he said that he pays his child support in bulk. So what that means is that he allows it to accumulate. And then what happens is when the court calls him in, and I have all the receipts, I'm going to go through all of them today. His docket is extensive. In fact, we have a poll right now, and I'm asking the question, how many entries do you think that Umar Johnson, I'll read it, how many child support docket entries does Umar Johnson have since 2002? So far, we have 133 votes. 27% say 25 entries, 30% say 55 entries, 8% say 75 entries, and 36% say 95 entries. By the time we're done with this, I'm going to show you the receipts and we'll come up with the actual figure on this. And so what I'm getting at is that Umar Johnson, even him talking about this particular issue, he's going to come from a very biased perspective because he's someone who does not pay his child support consistently and has been absent in his children's lives, two of his daughters' lives, from the beginning. In fact, he didn't even know that one of his daughter's middle name until more recently, relatively recently, compared to when she was born. I find it fascinating for you men out there. If you can have a child, find a way to support that child financially. And some men say things like, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, but I'm spending time. Okay, that's great. You should do that too. But that child has to have everything that the child needs in order to live a fruitful life. And that includes financial support. If you cannot afford it, then get a second job. If you don't have time to get a second job, well, then get off of the internet and go get a second job so that your child can eat, so that your child can have food, clothing, shelter, etc. That's your responsibility. And there's no real way around it. We can make all types of excuses, but at the end of the day, it's not about the baby mama. It's not about, the child's mother and how you don't get along or that you do get along. It's irrelevant. The idea is that as a father and as a man, you do what you're supposed to do and you take care of your children and be proud about it. Be proud of it. Okay? It's just money. You can make it and you make it for your child and you pass that along because that's what you're supposed to do. And that's what it means to be a father, in part, the financial support. Okay? So we're going to talk a little bit more about that a little bit later on. We already had a super chat that came in running late. I heard Shannon Sharp got busted afternoon, family. What Umar Johnson done now? He did a video. I haven't watched the video. We're gonna get into it today, where he came up with a conspiracy theory as to why Tyrese Gibson was allegedly, I'm going to say allegedly, arrested because of unpaid child support. And we're going to get into that. I have an article I'm going to pull up. I did hear about the Shannon Sharp situation. I was going to do a video today on it, but then I said, you know what? Maybe not. It's unfortunate, but he owned up to it, and I can respect that. The other thing is that sometimes people get caught up in things, and we just have to be more careful. I can go on. It's a whole nother show for another time. I may address it at some point. I may not. Maybe I'll do a member video for a video for members to talk about it. But it's just not something that I anyway. It's wild. I'm wondering what will happen next. He's on ESPN. Are they going to drop him? It's possible. I highly doubt it. He has his own show. He also has he has Club Shay Shay, and then you have another one with Ocho Cinco, and he's doing fantastic. And he's up there. He's done a fantastic job. But recently, what took place, I don't even want to talk about it. It's a doggone shame, but it is what it is. Okay, things happen. Shoot, I know I'll be keeping my phone. I'll put my phone in the drawer. I turn it off and put it. I take the battery out. I take the SIM card, all that out. Anyway, thanks HVAC man for the super chat, and Shaka Zulu is officially in the building. Okay, All right, so let's get into this. I'm going to start with the article, and then we're going to go to the video where Umar, and I haven't watched the video yet, where he's talking about this particular issue, and then we're going to get deeper into the child support situation with Umar in particular. I find it fascinating that he would even speak on this when he does not take care of his responsibilities financially, historically speaking. He's done a better job now, but I think he's done these days. But leading up to 2020, I'm going to show you, but I think it's because we were on him about it. And so he had to make sure that he got, he was taking care of his business. The other thing is that one of the children, they done grown, so he don't have to pay anyway. But that's neither here nor there. Let's get into it now, okay? So here's the video. Yeah, I haven't heard the audio. I don't even want to hear it. People been talking about it, but I don't even want to hear it. That's we're going to leave that over there. Shannon Sharp, do what you're going to do. I just figure you're just too old, and I don't mean this in terms of sex. Sex is it's normal human behavior. Consenting adults, perfectly natural, perfectly normal. I have 5 kids, trust me. But if you that old, you shouldn't be even halfway getting caught up with some stuff where you got your phone and just live streaming on Instagram. I don't care what the situation. If you're gonna be getting in them skins, put your phone away. Go put it in another house. He got a gang of. Leave it in the car. You too old. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Amy P says Umar's baby mama should have had Umar sign the Cookie Crush consent. Yeah, he should have. He should have. And he has 2 baby mamas, Amy. And one of the daughters is grown. And this is what I know of. I actually have some information that he has some other kids, but another child, but I can't verify that. So I don't put that out there, but I do have paperwork in terms of the child support as public record. I'm going to share that today. But he has 2 baby mamas, 2 daughters, and he's been totally absent. One of the daughters, and I'll play the video during this live stream. One of the daughters, and I can't remember if he said both. I can't remember. Quick chat if you guys remember, but I know for sure he said one. He had supervised visitations. He was complaining about it, and what that in his court order. So what that means is that he can't even see the child by himself. Now, there's different reasons as to why that would be the case. It could be a domestic violence situation. It could be that he's a threat to the child. It could be that he has a criminal. He doesn't have a criminal record, but this is one of the possibilities. He has a criminal record that actually he would be a danger to the child. There's all these different reasons. It could also be that he's threatened the mother. She's taken out a restraining order, that type of thing too, domestic violence, etc. I don't particularly know what the reason is, but it is court ordered. But that is concerning because none of those possible reasons are good. Okay, so I'm going to share all that information here today. Thanks, MEP, for the super chat. Yeah, Umar was talking. This was a while ago, maybe last year. He was talking about a cookie crush consent form, and this is where the women who come up to the school, they have to sign this cookie crush consent form, and they have to initial it. They put their signature so that if anything happens, they can't come back and me too him, as he likes to say. So that means that no, crushing your cookies was consensual. You can't come back. He talks a lot like that. I find that it's very disturbing that a man would talk in those terms where he's talking about SA. In essence, he's trying to avoid SA allegations. If you're living right, you're not even thinking about that. If you're living wrong, you will be thinking about that. I remember years ago, there was a woman that came out and she was disabled. I never played it because there's no way that I can verify it, but she was disabled. She was in a wheelchair, and she talked about how she had this particular experience with Umar and how she was trying to talk to him about information that she wanted to share with him. And I guess he was trying to help her or whatever. This is how the story goes again. This is all alleged. And that ultimately something happened. I'm not going to say what that is here because I can't verify it. And it was shocking. And then to hear Umar all these years later and going through his archive and here, he gives these different references to SA and I don't want you to me too me. So you have to sign this cookie crush consent form. All of that, you put it all together, it's very concerning. Okay. I'm not saying anything one way or the other. I'm just telling you guys that information, that video, it wasn't even a video, it was a radio interview. And this woman called in. I also have another video where a woman was talking about how Umar, well, anyway. We're going to leave it at that because there's no way that I can verify that. I've talked to other women too offline where they've sent me particular receipts, okay, but not to lead me to conclude what we're talking about here, if you guys catch my drift. But in terms of the sexual exploitation and the debauchery, that's a serious problem with Umar, okay? But for today, we're going to specifically talk about the child support situation. And for Umar, the cookie crush consent form is an idea or a concept that he's come up with in his mind to protect him from any legal repercussions wherein a woman comes back and says that it was an SA type of situation. But to even come up with that, it's actually wild. We're going to focus on the child support situation today. Thanks so much, AVP, for the super chat. I appreciate it. All right. Let's get into it. Here is the article I want to get into dealing with Tyrese Gibson. And many of you guys know of him. He's an actor. He's a singer. He actually sings really good. He's been around a long time. He's done other things too. Lewis Lex said, for all of his supposed intelligence, it's like he's never fully grown up. Any responsibility he runs from, he's very, very childlike in that regard. You're absolutely right. I'll propose even the fact that he has bills that are due and that these bills accumulate, including child support in the past. But I'm talking about dealing with these trap banners in Wilmington, Delaware, FDMG. I have a sense that when he gets all of these bills, he just sets them aside. Like a child, like they're going to go away, or if I don't deal with them, so what? It's not, I'm not going to be responsible. That's like a child. And Umar's like that. He doesn't handle business. You really have to be raised to do that too, by the way. You have to be raised to be able to go to the bank and handle business, go to the DMV to handle business, whatever the case may be. Go to the store to go handle business. I remember when Umar, you remember this little stuff, when Umar went shopping for one of the paint days. He also went shopping for a cleanup day. He was completely lost. He didn't even know how to shop. That's telling in and of itself. You got to teach your children how to shop. I'll be talking when I take my children to the store, when we shop, and I'll say, okay, you want to get that? Okay, well, can we get a larger container of that? Because if we look at it, let's look at how much it is per ounce. In the larger container per ounce is less. So even though we're paying more overall, we're kind of buying in bulk. We're getting more for less. And I said, okay. At first they were like, I don't get it. I said, no, okay, well, let's look at per ounce. This is how I explain it. And this is right here. This is a smaller box of the same product. It's a smaller box, and look at per ounce. It's 5 cents per ounce. Okay, but look at the larger box. You have to pay more up front, but look at how much it is per ounce. It's 4.5 cents. Now you see the difference. Oh, I get it. Okay, you have to teach children those types of things. Umar doesn't have those skills. I talked about this yesterday too, Lewis Luck, and not to get sidetracked, but then we're gonna get into it for sure. I talked about this yesterday, that Umar's arrested development is also the result of him being coddled by his mother, and then him being shipped off in the 9th grade to a boarding school, and where everything is provided for him. It was a private boarding school, and he lived there. Everything was provided for him. Okay, it was a government. It was his father was in the military. He was a drill sergeant, and one of the benefits that was provided to him was that his children could go to this particular school. Umar talked about it in a documentary. I'll actually provide information on that. And so he goes to this military. It's an academy. Sounds familiar? And it's a boarding school, and he lives there. Sound familiar? Because Umar St. Paul's idea was it was going to be a boarding school, and this goes back to even before St. Paul's. He was talking about this idea of FDMG. I have all the receipts on that. But what happens is he gets there. He's in the 9th grade, 14 years old. Okay, maybe 15, but 14 years old, I would think. And he gets there, and everything is provided for him. And then once he gets out, he goes right into college, where in essence, everything is basically provided for him. Okay, loans. He just takes out loans after loan after loan after loan. This goes on for over a decade. So Umar, for the vast majority of his life, I would think 30 years, the first 30 years, maybe 31 or 32 years, he doesn't have any type of idea about what it means to be a man and handle responsibilities. That feeds into the whole child support thing too. See? And then, interestingly enough, once he gets out of this, college, by that time it's 2012. Okay, now what does he pick up with? He picks up with the FDMG school scam. See, it's out of necessity. So that by in 2014, he starts collecting money for the St. Paul school scam. He's collected $1 million. So now millions of dollars. Now here we are a decade later. And his lifestyle is the same. People are providing for him just like he was provided for when he was a child, going into the military academy, going into college, the undergraduate, going for the graduate, going for the PsyD. Okay. Now, Umar did work for a while. Yes. Okay. But ultimately, money was there for him. His lifestyle was provided for him for the vast majority of more than the first half of his life. And here we are. It's the same routine. It's just now donors send him the money, and he has no sense to be grown up, as it were, and be responsible for things. Okay. All right. Thanks a little for super chat. All right, let's get to the article. Let me pull it up here. All right, here it is right here. By the way, the last time Umar worked, it was over a decade ago. So we can say conclusively. Now he worked as a school psychologist, but it was very small, very limited, very relatively speaking to all of the years he's been on the planet. Okay, it's what, 3 years or something like that. Okay, so he was making money, but understand that once he got, truth be told, once he got fired, he had to do something. So over the next year and a half, he has to really ramp up the FDMG school scam. So that by in 2014, he starts collecting money. And now here we are a decade, and it's over $2.7 million. If y'all think about that, that's like, It's like let's just say $250,000 a year. Yeah. All right, here is on average, I should say. Here's the article right here dealing with Tyrese. Tyrese Gibson arrested after refusing to send child support to ex, ordered to pay $73,500 to avoid jail time. So he was arrested. What I meant to say earlier was that did he actually go to jail? I don't think he actually went to jail. I think he was released. Gibson shares his 5-year-old daughter, Soraya, with his ex-wife, Lee. Tyrese Gibson has been arrested after a judge found him in contempt of court in connection with a dispute about child support payment with his ex-wife, People confirms. And this is from People magazine. According to an order issued on Monday, September 9th, Gibson was to be taken into custody and incarcerated after he was found to be in willful contempt for failure to make child support payments. An order from a judge in Fulton County, Georgia, states. The judge's decision was issued after a hearing was held because the rapper, is he a rapper? What are you talking about? He's a singer. I don't think he's a rapper. What are these people? Maybe he has. I don't know. Let me stop because I don't follow the guy or anything. And actors, you know how they say black people, we all rap, you know, Black Anonymous rap, Dominique, especially Black Morrow, he rap all the time. He can't help it. I'm sorry. Let me stop it. Okay. The judge's decision was issued after a hearing was held because the rapper and actor's ex-wife Samantha Lee made a motion that he be held in contempt after she claimed he was failing to make child support payments. Gibson and Lee share 5-year-old daughter Soraya. He is also dad to daughter Shayla, 17, whom he shares with ex-wife Norma Mitchell. Okay. All right, let me just scroll down here. The judge ordered that Gibson be released from custody after he purges himself of contempt by paying approximately $73,500 to Fulton County officials. It was not immediately clear if Gibson remained in custody. Some people may be saying that this is a whole lot of money, but child support in general, it goes based, it's at least here in the United States of America, in general, it goes based upon how much your annual income is or projected income happens to be. So for him, even though it may seem like a lot to, and I know people who make a lot less money than him, and I've talked with people, and specifically women, who their child's father never paid child support, and then if they I calculated how much he would have actually owed, it could have gotten up to by that point $100,000, $120,000. Court, and that could be over the course of a decade, 15 years, etc. Court records obtained by people show that Gibson intends to appeal the contempt ruling. Although Gibson did not respond to a message seeking comment from people, on Tuesday, September 10th, he shared a video on his Instagram stories writing, getting arrested wasn't easy. As a matter of fact, it was very traumatic. One would ask, why does this judge and my ex Samantha hate me so much? I don't think it's an issue of hate. It's an issue of legality. You got to pay your child support. And if you want to be contemptuous and temptuous about it, then you would be placed into contempt, and you could go to be arrested for it. Doesn't necessarily mean that you go to jail per se. I mean, you could. A rep for Gibson did not immediately respond to people's request for comment. In a video posted onto his Instagram before the hearing on Monday, Gibson shared that there was a possibility he'd be arrested the next morning in court. So he already knew. Okay, so it's not about them hating him. He already knew it was going to go down. Gibson said that although he was fighting with his ex in court, he has never not taken care of his kids. Okay, but obviously he's not paying child support, and that is part of taking care of your children, in my opinion. And then he goes on and said, I am a dad, and you know why I'm dad. Not because of what I bought them. It's not the issue of what you buy them. It's about them having what they need, and it's your responsibility. This is a lesson for all you men. You're supposed to take care of your children financially. It's really that simple. Okay. Not because of the clothes, not because of the square footage of the house, not because of the cars in the driveway, and definitely not because of this fake jewelry I wear, Gibson said in his video. I'm a father because that exchange between your son or your daughter is nothing that can be purchased. It's not about purchasing in the exchange. It's about being financially responsible for your child. Okay? The actor went on to say that if the judge arrested him in court the next day, I'm just going to say F it. Get it over with. He also shared a series of photos of his kids on Instagram, writing in the caption, the love that a father can have for his children can't quite be explained. Whatever the outcome is today, I will forever be their father. And I believe this is his Tyrese Gibson and Samantha Lee. So I think this is the woman that he's having these current issues with. In 2020, Gibson and Lee released a joint statement detailing that the two have decided to split after nearly 4 years of marriage. I don't need to read all that. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. So you guys get the gist of this. I hope this makes enough sense for us to get into Umar's diatribe. We're going to get into that now. This video, I think, is from 2 days ago. Yeah, it's from yesterday. So let's get into it now. Thank you all again for tuning on in. There is a poll, by the way. Let me go ahead and read what we have so far. We have 230 votes. The question is, how many child support docket entries does Umar Johnson have since 2012? 32% say 25, 33% say 55, 9% say 75, and 26% say 95. Okay, I'll be revealing that a little bit later on as we get into some of these other receipts dealing with Umar. All right, here's the video. Let's get into it. Where's he at, everyone?
Peace and Pan Africanism, peace and Pan Africanism. Peace and Pan Africanism, peace and Pan Africanism. Peace and Pan Africanism, peace and Pan Africanism. Good Garvey Day to my continental Africans. Good Garvey Day to my Africans in Europe, my Africans in Asia, my Africans in Australia, my Africans in the South Pacific. Good Garvey Day to my Canadian Africans, my Caribbean Africans, my South American Africans, my Central American Africans.
Why is he talking so fast?
American Africans. Good Garvey Day to my Los Angeles Africans. This is King Kong Consciousness coming to you live and direct from Hollywood, California. Hollywood, California. Hollywood, California.
Yeah, this is probably after he did the podcast, in and around time he did the podcast, either the one he was talking about the other day or the, I can't remember his name. What was the guy? He has all these kids with all these baby mama. Can't remember his name right now. Anyway,
I want to see all my Newark, New Jersey Africans this Sunday. I want to see all my Newark, New Jersey Africans this Sunday at the Source of Knowledge bookstore.
Yeah, it sounds sped up. Is it sped up to people?
867 Broad Street in Newark, New Jersey this Sunday, September.
I don't know. Let me go check this real quick. I'll let it play though, because I'm sure you guys can make it out, but I can re-download it and see if that corrects the problem. The worst case scenario, we can just watch it directly from the website. Yeah, Nick Cannon. I'm sorry. Someone said Cam Newton. Yeah, him too. All right. Someone said, okay. They ran down on Tyrese Gibson as they should. However, Tyrese is not committing crimes against black men, women, and children. Yeah, but that doesn't, whether he's committing crimes, that's not the point. The point is you can take care of his kids. That's all. I'm not committing crimes, but I'm still responsible for taking care of my kids. All right. Let me go over here real quick. I want to see if there's an issue here. And if there is, what we can do is we can watch it directly from Instagram. Hold on one second. I'll be right back.
15th for the Black Book giveaway from 12 to 6. Dr. Umar speaks at 2. I want to talk about the fact that my big brother Tyrese Gibson was arrested. I want to talk about the fact that they arrested my big brother Tyrese Gibson. And I believe, brothers and sisters, let me say this right now. I believe that Tyrese Gibson was arrested because he spoke out against Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party doing nothing for black people. I repeat, Tyrese Gibson, Hollywood.
What are you talking about? Let me check this on. Hold on a second. No, it's not sped up. He was just going quick for some reason when he started. I'm just listening to it. He has some more videos up. He's been very active. Just looking, he looking so tired. He's been so active on social media. Nowhere near these trap battles up in Wilmington. Don't even talk about it anymore. There's 2 more videos. One of the videos, this one is from 4 hours ago. It says, valued, invested, protected. Black women need the VIP treatment from their kings. Look who's talking. He up in the car sweating. Here we go. If we have time, we'll get to that too. All right, but let's continue. Here we go.
The actor and singer Tyrese Gibson was arrested for speaking out against Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party not doing anything against black people. If he never spoke out against the Democratic machine, if he never spoke out against the Democratic plantation slaves, if he never spoke out against Joe Biden and Kamala Harris taking care of everybody except black people, Tyrese would have never been arrested. Let me read the story.
Okay, wait a minute. How many people have been arrested for child support? Does that mean that all of the men that have been arrested for everywhere, black, white, other, that the reason why they were arrested was because they spoke out against Kamala Harris? Let's just do some reasoning here. It makes no sense. Where's the proof of this? Umar just makes up any old thing, but really it has to do with this conspiracy theory mindset. I've had it in the past. Okay, so let's be clear about that. But the other thing is trying to find an excuse outside of the fact that Tyrese wasn't handling his business and taking care of his financial responsibilities when it came to one of his daughters. which is similar to Umar. And I'm going to prove that a little bit later on, that he traditionally, historically, has not taken care of his financial responsibility when it comes to his daughters. But he has to turn it into some crazy conspiracy that the reason why Tyrese was arrested was because he spoke out against. Come on, that's ridiculous. Anyway,
brothers and sisters, Tyrese was arrested Monday morning. The singer was detained for unpaid child support, $73,000 for his 5-year-old daughter with ex-wife Samantha Lee. An hour later, Byron reported that the father of two miraculously found the money and was arranged for it to be paid. He will likely be home for dinner. TMZ corroborated the report, noting that Tyrese was set to pay $10,000 a month starting April of 2023. So this arrest was made because he held in contempt of court. Ahead of the arrest, Tyrese posted a series of photos of his two daughters, Shayla and Soraya. The love that a father can have for his children quite can't be explained. Whatever the outcome is today, I am and will forever be their father. Okay. Tyrese revealed that he might be arrested.
Listen, he has some nerve. Umar has some nerve to even be bringing this up. And I'm going to show you guys. We're not going to get into this right now. I'm just going to show you the screenshots, and I have all of them. The doc, well, no, maybe I shouldn't do that. I'm not going to do it yet. We got the poll up. My bad. Let's keep going. Here we go.
Claiming that Lee's legal team, Adam Gleekin and William Alexander, were besties with.
How's it going? How's it going, Brady? Yeah, Umar spoke out against Wendy's. Okay, he didn't get arrested for child support. He spoke out about Taco Bell and Popeyes and Burger King, but he wasn't arrested. Anyway.
Judge Kevin Farmer, who presided over the case. All these names are very public knowledge because they are all very public judges and lawyers. Demanded that I come to court, cancel my press media for my 1992 movie and my new Beautiful Pain album interviews. The singer wrote in a since deleted post. He noted that he'd been appealing all of the Judge Farmer's rulings because he tried to get him thrown off the bench twice. This is also the judge who handled Tyrese's divorce from Lee. And in those proceedings, the singer accused the judge of collusion. So Tyrese, my brother, we standing with you. Hold your head. We hope that you win. Everything comes out right, but we have to do something about child support court. Black women, we know you need money to take care of the children when the relationship doesn't work out. Black women, we know you need money to take care of the children when the relationship doesn't work.
See, notice how he always framed everything within the scope of black women being single mothers, as opposed to as if there aren't single fathers out there. Amen. Hit the one. But that's because his main target demographic when it comes to scamming and crushing cookies is single black mothers. Y'all catch that? See? Yeah, okay. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? See? Someone said Umar got a wig on. You're absolutely right about that. And how's it going? Let me see your transcript. You're absolutely right about that. That's what I'm speaking to here. We've had people on the shows who said that in the chat room in the past. We've talked about this particular topic. How they said, no, my father was he put my mama on child support. So, but see, Umar he only sees it from the vantage point of a predator who's seeking to prey upon single black mothers as his main target demographic for school funds, or really it's not even school funds, but for donations so he can live his lifestyle, but then also to sexually exploit to crush the cookies, pina colada, hot fudge, all, you know, you guys know the routine. He said green pistachio one time. I said, amen. I said, I want me a green queen, family. Okay. Yeah, but he always frames it that way. But that's because his main target demographic, it's single black mothers. Yeah, he's really crafty in these regards. And if you look closely, if you listen carefully, he does this. Tyrese's ex is not black. Yeah, I heard about that too. But I also remember Tyrese was saying some disparaging things about black women too. I don't know if you guys remember that. This was years ago. I can't remember exactly what it was about, but I remember it was a controversy. Whatever he had said, it was controversial. No, they need to be compensated for having to pay 100% pay your share. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And men and women for that matter, but I like to speak to the men. You should be proud to pay the child support. Matter of fact, when you pay it, it should make you feel good. You shouldn't feel like you're losing anything because those are your children. You should sacrifice and give to them. That's what it's all about. See, my wife would tell you, because we've been talking about this recently. I told her sometimes I can't find clothes to wear because I have minimal clothes. I have 2 pairs of jeans. I have some socks. You know, I got my underwear. I got this shirt. I've had this shirt for over a decade. You know, and then I have these other shirts that I've had probably for 6 or 7 years, but it's too hot to wear them right now. And then I have these dress shirts. One of them is probably about 3 years old. The other one I purchased more recently, but you know, sometimes I can't. They're in the wash or they're in the dirty clothes hamper. So I'm scrambling around before the show starts to try to find clothes. Now, why do I do that? Well, one, I'm somewhat of a minimalist, but the other thing is I'm always thinking about, okay, this money that I would spend on myself trust me, I need it. But this money can go towards my children. I can put more food on the table. You know, if they need some extra money for lunch or what have you, then it's going to go to them. They got clothes, etc. You know, and I've always been like that. And I've struggled too, where, you know, times were very, very difficult. But even these days where we don't struggle as much, I should say, we've been very blessed, and I'm very thankful for it. I still have that same mentality. That's what it means to be a man. It's to sacrifice, and you should feel good about it. I feel good about it. You know. Kids got a gang of clothes. I feel good about it. My wife, she got a gang of clothes. She got, what do they call it? She got clothes for the summer. She got, I don't even understand, because my mind can't keep track of all that. I got to have just a couple of things. She got winter clothes. She got fall clothes, spring clothes, you know. But I would much rather my family have what they need than to me be worrying about having some new clothes. I do need them, right? But anytime I put money down for my children, so you need some money? You going somewhere? Where you going? You got money on you? No. Okay, well, here, let me give you some. I didn't have that growing up. We didn't have that at all. So for me to be able to provide that in all of my failings in life, okay, now in all my feelings as a father, for me to be able to provide that and to do that, I feel good about that and I feel proud about it. And every man should, and you shouldn't feel like you're losing anything. These people walking around, your children, they're really you. They're just younger versions of you. See? And so this notion that somehow the child support system, well, if you took care of the responsibility in the front end, women wouldn't have to take you to the court. It's that simple. And if you feel like you're having to pay too much, well, then you go back to court and you negotiate, or you figure out what you get a lawyer if you have to do that, you know. Or if she's not spending the money on the children, you think she's spending it on herself. Okay, well, you go to court for that. And there should be an accounting system. They probably have some. I would think that they should have some sort of accounting system so they can verify where this money is going, that is going towards the children. And if they don't have that, then that's something that needs to be fixed in the system. You see. But if you believe that the money that you're giving for your child to support your child is not going towards a child, then you need to go back to court and handle the business. It's that simple. But at the end of the day, you should feel good and proud about taking care of your kids. That's what I mean to say. All right. No, I don't have no new camera or iPhone. My phone is so old. I mean, I tell my wife all the time. Sometimes I text and the text don't go through, or someone send me because my children, they be sending images of silly stuff and they send it and it don't go through. Sometimes I try to call, it won't call. I'm gonna get one soon. I just don't want to spend the money. Okay, let's keep going. Here we go.
Work out. Black women, we know you need money to take care of the children when the relationship doesn't work out, but y'all have to stop weaponizing child support against black men. Stop trying to destroy black men over child support. I want to do a couple tap-ins for child support. Do I have any black men or women who want to speak on child support? I don't have a lot of time. I got to get ready for my interview. Who wants to speak on child support one time?
Oh, yeah, I just think it's the lighting. The lighting over here on this side isn't as bright. So that's probably the reason why.
Who wants to tap in and speak on child support? Only child support. Do I have any brothers who want to speak on the weaponization of child support against black men? Tap in right now. Tap in. Do I have any sisters who want to speak on the weaponization of child support against black men? Tap in right now. Tap in right now.
The Sarata going twice. Sister Sarata going 3 times. Where you at, Sarata? You pulling up or not, chocolate beautiful queen? Are you pulling up? I gotta see you. There you go. How you doing?
Hello.
Where you based at, Sarata? Where you at?
I'm in San Francisco, California.
San Fran, so you're a few hours from me. All right. What is your take on this child support piece, Tyrese?
He had to throw that in there. You know, yeah, you're just a few hours away, Queen. Who are funny?
Tyrese, they wanted Tyrese to cancel his interview for his new movie, his new album. He said he couldn't do that. He also judged his friends with his ex-wife's lawyers. What is your opinion on child support? Are Black women taking it too far?
Yeah, well, if that's the case, that should be something that needs to be addressed in all fairness. So if they don't have a system in place to monitor what child support is spent on, only in extreme cases where the children appear to not be getting what they need. No, there should be listen, we're in a digital age, you know, everything should be documented. So, I mean, I can think of something just from a cybersecurity perspective, a debit card. And that debit card is specific, and money is put and paid to that debit card, and that only that card is used to get whatever the child needs. And so therefore, when you look up the statement, it'll show what was purchased, you know, and when. You see what I'm saying? There should be something to that effect, okay? And that's at a bare minimum. And so that way, you know, a mother or father, when they look at that statement, they can say, okay, this is the amount of money that I put on that card specifically to pay this child support, and this is the balance, and this was what where the money was spent. Okay, it won't give you exact details, like exactly, but at a certain point, I would think that from a cybersecurity perspective, well, I shouldn't say it that way, but from a technological perspective, it should be possible to document every single transaction and what is being purchased and when and where. See? So that's something that I can think of that would probably make the situation more amicable for men or women who are paying child support. I'm surprised that you know, that doesn't exist, or it's at least something like that. Yeah, I don't think it would be ridiculous. You know, for instance, if Sharice, if you were paying child support, and let's say you were paying $400 a month, and you knew for a fact that that money wasn't going towards the child, wouldn't you want some accountability? See? I've never been on child support. Me and my wife, we have our kids together. We've been together now for 23 years. But if it happened to be where I was paying $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month in child support, I would want accountability about an accounting system if, in fact, I knew that she was using the money for herself. Does this make sense? So no, I don't think that would be ridiculous at all. I think it would be fair. Okay. All right, let's keep going. Here we go.
Or do Black men just not want to be responsible? What is your opinion?
So yeah, my take on it is it's just ridiculous, especially if you have a Black man who's in his child's life. It's like that's really for somebody who's a deadbeat. So if you know your child who is Tyrese, who's known to be active in your child's life, why are you asking for that 10K when he's already there implementing as a father? I grew up with a single father, and my mom still had my dad on child support, and I saw my dad more than I saw my mom, and she was getting money. So it's really, really corrupt system that really goes back to dates of like, you know, the broken Black family system to really just detach Black fathers. And so what I say is like, just make sure if you're not going to be in a relationship with this person, at least some things are written down in place to make sure if the union doesn't work out, the woman's not coming back at you for money. Because a lot of time it's for upsetness because the relationship didn't work out or so on. But I just think it's
really a revenge debt. That's what it really is.
Correct. Yeah. Because you wasn't asking him for money when the relationship was good. You guys were with the child, all giddy, but now.
And now this right here is ridiculous. I think the young lady and Umar, well, Umar, he's a deadbeat anyway, but I think she's missing the point. That is to say that when you are together and money is going towards, collectively, the money is going towards to provide for the child. Yes, and I saw the message about bare minimum. Yeah, I totally agree with that. That's one scenario. But another scenario is when you are not with the parent and or both parents are not together, and let's say the woman leaves, and so the man is the father is with the son or the daughter, and so there has to be some way for the mother who is no longer there to continue to contribute to the children. You see, and that would be, and if she didn't do that, then that's where the child support would come into play. Court ordered child support, wherein a certain amount of money would need to be paid to the father that would go to the children. So she's kind of missing the point here. Umar's going to agree because he's a deadbeat.
Now the relationship end, and it's like, okay, I understand there needs to be accountability, help, but if he's active as a father, he's going to be active paying diapers or whatever else.
Do you think Black women are assertive enough in holding other Black women accountable for trying to destroy men over child support when they?
Okay, listen. Most women aren't trying to destroy men over child support. Child support is a necessity. It is a responsibility. But Umar is going to frame it this way because he is delinquent and has consistently been delinquent on his child support. Let me share the receipt right now. We're going to get into some other videos where Umar talks about child support as well, because he's really coming from a personally biased perspective on this. The other thing is, if you guys listen closely, Umar has a list. I've been noticing this more and more. I don't know what's going on with that. but he has a slight list, but there's other videos more recently where he has this issue as well. Jay Morrison, I watched the video a couple of months ago, and he had the same issue. I don't know what's going on with that, but it's something that I've picked up on. I don't know if you guys can pick it up too. But here, let me just show you guys this real quick. This is Umar Johnson's docket from the Pennsylvania Child Support Program. Okay. This goes back to 2002 through 2003, 2005. This is 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010. This is 2011, 2012, 2016, 2017. This is 2019. This is 2020. This is 2021, 2022. This is 2017. This is just another case. This is the this is another one of the baby mama. 2017, 2018. And this is from the Human Services Department. This is from 2015, 16, and 2017. So Umar does not take care of his responsibilities. In fact, I do have the video where he says he pays his child support in bulk. Why don't I go ahead and pull that up for you guys now? Give me 1 second. Oh, actually, I don't have it in this folder. I'll find it. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I'll let this video play. I'll go and pick it out. Give me 1 second, everyone.
No, it's not about money. It's more about revenge. Do you think black women do enough to hold other black women accountable?
Not enough. Not enough. They'll be like, oh, okay.
Okay, it's not black women's responsibility to hold black women accountable when it comes to black men not paying their child support or any man not paying their child support. The logic is so ridiculous. Anyway,
You getting money from your baby daddy? Okay, good. Let's go out. Let's go shopping. Like, the money is on purposes for your child, not for yourself. So I don't think we hold them accountable to sisters who are like using it as a pity form at all.
Thank you for tapping in, gorgeous queen.
okay, yeah, but there are plenty of women that don't do that. Anyway,
Thank you so much. Be blessed, mama. Who tapping in? We talking about child support. Who tapping in? If you for child support, if you against child support, talk to me, family. Talk to me. We tapping in on child support. Where you at, my queen? Tap on in. Going once, tap on in. Going twice. Where you at, lovely? The real estate queen. Where you at?
Hi, Dr.
All right, how you doing?
How are you?
That's beautiful. Where you at?
I'm in Jersey. I'm
What
in
part of Jersey?
Patterson, New Jersey.
So you need to
I,
come to the source of knowledge on Sunday
Yeah.
for the Black Book giveaway.
you know what? I just told my husband that, but I'm 30 weeks pregnant, so I can't really go.
Congratulations. You might can't
oh,
come.
congratulations to her.
We might got to lay you out over the books, my sister.
What in the world? This guy.
So I spoke to you like
child support thing, my queen.
So yes, I have actually two children prior to this one.
Yeah.
Yes. So I feel like in regards to child support, I feel like some black men just does not want to take accountability after the relationship is over. Like I gave both of my baby fathers leeway. Like I really asked them, like, okay, since you're not in the household anymore, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna, take care of this? And I'm very successful. I am a real estate agent. And sometimes I feel like that is a bad thing and a good thing because obviously I can support the children and they know that, but also it's like, okay, well, you can support the children. Why do you need my money? Or why do, I still have to pay for certain things? So it's a hardship and it's really sad, but
now,
it's
what
a
about
hardship.
Because I do hear you when you say that sometimes when men can no longer be with the woman or they don't like the way the relationship broke up, they'll try to punish the woman by not financially supporting the child. What about when the man is financially supporting the child or spends more time with the children than the mother, and child support becomes a tool of revenge and punishment against the man by the woman? In your experience with all the black women you know and have heard about, Which one do you think is the primary issue? Is it men not wanting to be responsible financially, or is it women trying to punish good fathers for no longer wanting to be with them?
No. That's not how this works. See, Umar is really framing this around his own personal reality and the truth that he does not want to pay child support. See, that's not how this works. As a man, as a father, you're supposed to provide for your child. And if you don't do that, then a woman has the right to take you to court in order to get you to pay what you should be paying anyway. That's not revenge. That's ensuring that the child is receiving what the child needs in order to live a life wherein the child's needs are being cared for, not just by the mother, but by the father too. But Umar wants to turn it into some sort of revenge thing. It's not revenge. It's your responsibility. See, if you paid child support in the first place, you wouldn't even have to get to that point. If you handled your responsibility in the first place, you won't have to go to court. And let's say you do take care of a responsibility and she takes you to court anyway, well, the court would be able to figure out how much money you're providing, and then they'll look at how much you would need to provide based upon your income. And if you're providing more than that, then it will be court ordered that you pay less than that. If you're providing less than what you should based upon your income, then the court will order you to pay more than what you've been normally paying. But see, you wouldn't even have to get to that point in the first place if you were paying child support. And even if you were paying child support without it being court ordered, and somehow she gets you into court for child support, then you just have your receipts in order to prove that you're paying the appropriate amount, and that's it. Case closed. Let me play something for y'all. Let me know if you guys can hear the audio on this. Okay. By the way, Iceman Vamp says before he talks to these women, he should start with the disclaimer that he's currently behind in child support and only pays in bulk. Absolutely. He should say, you know what? I'm a deadbeat. I don't take care of my kids. I have supervised visitations with one of them. The mamas don't want to have anything to do with me. I've doxed their personal information and told my followers to go up there and confront them. I have all the receipts all lined up today. If we have the time, we'll get into all of this. I'm mad at my daddy because my daddy went to go see my child and I wasn't even allowed to see my child unsupervised. Just being petty. I paid my child support in bulk. Well, meanwhile, I'm traveling all over the world collecting money for a school that doesn't exist, and I still don't pay my child support. I don't even have my own place to stay. But let me tell you, let me tell you what this child support thing is. It's really about these black women because they're all like this. These black women are out here and they're trying to get revenge. You handled your responsibility in the first place, it wouldn't be an issue. And even if she took you to child support court, well, then you have your receipts in order and you show what you are providing for to the judge. And if you're paying less than what you should based upon your income, then you will have to pay more. If you're paying more than what you should based upon your income, then you will have to pay less. And it's as simple as that. Okay. Thanks for the super chat, Iceman Bam. Speaking of bulks, let me play this. Let me know if you guys can hear the audio. Here we go.
Economically castrated. They don't want the white man in their business, and I don't want the white man in my business. I missed the child support payment last month. I did, and this is just me personally. I pay my child support in bulks, so I'll pay a couple months at a time. And my youngest daughter mother reported me for missing last month's child support, so I got to go before the judge. Okay, and I should not have to go before the judge. I pay my child support. I've been paying it. My oldest.
No, you don't. You don't pay your child support. You just said you paid it in what? Bulks. He didn't say singular. Bulks is more than one, but he says bulks. That means more than one, more than one. And in point of fact, if you look at his child support docket, it's not like he's just missing one payment. Let's just look at this. This is 2002. January, February, March, April, May, June, July 15th, August 14th, August 20th, October 9th, November 1st, November 7th, December 4th, December 5th, December 23rd, if you will. You see this? So what is he talking about? No. He doesn't pay and he lets it accumulate. And what happens to the child if you don't pay? Well, the child doesn't receive the funds that would be going to the child so that the child has his basic needs met, material needs. We're not even talking about even being present because he's a deadbeat. He's not even present. But at the very least, you have to provide for your children financially. So understand this, that even when Umar is talking about paying child support in bulk, what he's really expressing is that how he's willing to allow his child to go without for months at a time. And that at a certain point, when the court calls him in, there'll be a court order, a complaint for support, defendant has signed, acknowledged, final order, defendant filed petition for a modification, order to appear in mod conference, interim. There's generic orders all over the place. That's when they're trying to find out what his income is. Okay. Contempt of court, contempt petition issued, generic order, contempt petition issued against the defendant. We Umar, hearing officer, proposed order entered, contempt order final, contempt petition issued, generic order. Do you mean to tell me that he's just missed one payment and this is happening? Order employer to modify income attachment. That's the last time he had a job. That was in 2008, in and around 2008. Okay. Generic order to vacate the bench warrant. This guy has bench warrants. That doesn't happen just because you miss one payment. Order to vacate bench warrant against the defendant issued. Generic order, contempt petition issued against the defendant. Order employer to terminate income attachment. That's in 2014. Modify, I'm going backwards here. Generic order, et cetera, et cetera. Here you can see this a lot easier. This is from 2020. Pro se contempt petition filed by plaintiff. Order to vacate bench warrant against the defendant. That'd be Umar. Generic order, generic interim order in effect. Generic order to vacate bench warrant against the defendant. Issue generic order, pro se contempt petition filed by the plaintiff. Order to appear in the mod conference. Modification petition, generic order to vacate bench warrant against the defendant. Issue generic order to vacate bench warrant. It just keeps going. Need me something to drink. He's had his license revoked as well. Okay, that doesn't happen just because you miss one payment. Umar has a history of not taking care of his kids and not providing the financial support. Meanwhile, he's collecting millions of dollars from black people for a school that don't exist. And he has the nerve to get up on here talking about child support. Let's continue.
I feel like honestly it's a little bit of both because it all depends on that specific relationship and how that actually went. Like, I only could speak for myself. Like my first relationship, it was more of, okay, you're gonna help or you're not gonna help, and it was like, no, they're not helping at all. The second one, he's very responsive, but he's not. I can really say that he's not reliable. So he needed to be on child support to be forced to do something, because it was a reliability factor. With other women, sometimes yes, they do that. They are bitter when they see someone else with the person that they really loved and they wanted to be with, and it was more like as a contact factor. But with my friends, honestly, we're all are successful, and it doesn't play out that way. It plays out more of, well, why we have to do this if you have it all set up. So that's what I'm dealing with.
Got you. Thank you, Mama. Thank you for that wisdom.
Thank you so much. I'll see you on Sunday. I'll have my hug.
Listen, he tried to get her off real quick.
Do we
Love know if it's a boy or
it's another king. I got 3 kings, Dr. Umar.
Oh man, so you're a king.
Congratulations.
Yes, and let me tell you something. I'm actually deliberating. We want to move to Delaware. For your school. So when the school opens,
to my school then. Yeah.
They're gonna come to your school. Not might. Yes. They're gonna come. So I'm waiting for everything to come in. All right. Thank you.
Oh, sweetie, don't do that. Don't do that. Oh, please. Jesus, if you can keep this family close and keep the father close and the other babies close and the woman, if you can just keep them wrapped, please, and keep them safe and fruitful and at peace. May they not go to Delaware. This is wild. I have a video where a woman moved out there with her son. You guys remember this? And the son was special needs. And she was like, where's the school at? I've been waiting. I said, oh my God. The son was autistic. I can pull up the video. That's one of the, I've said it many times. It is in my mind. And out of all of the madness that we've seen with Umar, it is the saddest thing, the most tragic thing I've ever seen dealing with Umar. This woman, and man, it was horrible. But this lady right here, please, may the good Lord keep you. That's all I can say, because there is no school. There will be no school, and you don't want to move out there and you be stuck out there thinking you're gonna have your, because it's been going on now for 19 years. There's plenty of people that thought that they kids. Some of these kids, they 20 years old now, 25, 30. Anyway, not 30. Let's do 25. All right, let's continue. Here we go. This is sad.
Thank you so much.
All right now. Y'all heard that, my beautiful African sisters? Have your sons and move to Delaware. Have your sons and move to Delaware. Have your African kings and bring them to the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey RBG International Leadership Academy. And
Can you believe this, guy? D, that is all? Yeah, just drive. I mean, this could just take the spaceship. You know, I'll just take a spaceship. Go to another galaxy. I don't know. Listen, Trey, a vehicle may not be good enough. We need to get a spaceship, a starship, and get up off this planet, get out this galaxy. Did I finish this over here? Hold on one second. Let me pull this one back up. It's crazy.
man, in my business, I missed the child support payment last month. I did, and this is just me personally. I pay my child support in bulks, so I'll pay a couple months at a time. And my youngest daughter mother reported me for missing last month's child support, so I got to go before the judge. Okay, and I should not have to go before the judge. I pay my child support. I've been paying it. My oldest daughter, 19. I've been paying her child support since she was 3 months old. My youngest daughter is 10, and I'm just giving y'all this self-disclosure to add context. I should not have to go down there. Dr. Umar ain't got no business.
He's such a liar. I just showed you guys the receipts. He wasn't paying child support. That's why he has a docket that is so extensive. Look at this. And this is from the baby mama, the child he's talking about here. This is 2002. Just in 2002, there's 54 docket entries going from 2002 to 2017. By the way, if you go online, all this truncates because the docket is so long, the website only holds a certain amount of information, which is common. Even while I studied for cybersecurity, they talked about this. It truncates, but I have all of the original screenshots, and these are the screenshots here. So, I mean, I have the proof here. He was not paying his child support 2002, 2003, 2005, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, a whole bunch of them in 2010. That's when he said the school was going to open. In 2013, 2011, 2012, 2016. He started the school scam in 2014. He wasn't even paying child support when he was collecting millions. He started collecting all this money, getting up to millions of dollars. But you guys are trifling because you ain't sending him enough money. This is 2020. I think this is the other. Yeah, this is. Wait, hold on a second. Yeah, this is the other child. But anyway, let's get back to it. Here we go.
Wilmington, Delaware, brothers and sisters. Who tapping in? Who tapping
Hold on,
in?
I don't. Let me make sure I got through all this. Hold on one second. Let me pull this back up. Give me 1 second. Here we go.
Family court on Monday. I think I got to go down there to meet with this judge. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pay the missed payment soon when I get down there. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. I'm gonna pay the missed payment when I get down there, right? And I'm gonna go before the judge and I'm gonna tell the judge I missed the payment because I pay in bulk, right? And that's gonna be the end of it. But it's a waste of time, and I gotta get harassed by the judge. I gotta sit around in family court taking pictures with all my supporters, embarrassing myself because I'm back down here in family court for my daughter's mother's need to try to inconvenience me when she knows she's going to get her money. So child support is often used by women. I'm not saying all women, Sister Judy, but child support is often used by women to get revenge on the black man. So in my case, my youngest daughter's mother, she wanted to get married. I didn't think that was something we needed to do at that time. I would have considered it had we just spent a little bit more time after the birth of my child trying to see if we could make a family. She didn't want no more time. I'm having your child. I need to be your wife. Those are her exact words. That didn't happen. So child support was the result. We had an agreement that I would give her a certain amount of money per month when my daughter was born. And in exchange for that, I would get to see my daughter 1 day a week to start. She was an infant, so I didn't want to keep her away from her mother too often. She was being breastfed, and I respected that, and I wanted that. But again, I was willing to pay the child support. There was no issue at all. At all. Guess what? She took me anyway. So
well, that's because you weren't paying. And see, if you were paying and she took you, you would just provide the receipts, and it's a done deal. And it could still be court ordered. You just would have to pay more. You would have to pay less based upon your income. That's another reason why Umar hasn't worked the job, because he doesn't want them to find out how much money he's collected. That's why you see on the docket, it'll say generic order. That's them trying. That's the court system trying to find Umar's employment so they can dox his pay. There's a term for it. I can always forget what the term is. A wage garnishment for child support. He doesn't want that. That goes to show you how to what length this guy has gone. He could have picked up a job, but he doesn't want to. But if he puts it all under this fictitious nonprofit organization, then he can just trick off the money. This guy, he's something else. He's something else. And notice he doesn't pay himself. See, now it's come to pieces are coming together. He doesn't pay himself, legally pay himself through this nonprofit. You can look at the documents that he filed with the IRS to maintain his tax exempt status, and it will show that he doesn't pay himself anything. See, we were talking about this, you know, he could have paid himself $100,000 a year, $80,000 a year. So why didn't he do it? He didn't do it because he doesn't want to get that wage garnishment. See, that's the length that this guy is going, but he wants to frame it as if you black women, you're the problem, you baby mamas, as it were, that it's all about revenge against him. And you guys have this big conspiracy against him because you guys are jealous or you want to get revenge and that. No, take care of your children. And see, I come from a vantage point where I've had some very rough times in my life as a father, but I always tried my best. And in the first place, I'm here. Okay, things have gotten a lot better. But even still, if for whatever reason, God forbid, and I hate talking like this, but you know, me and my wife, we weren't together. I apologize. Okay, I didn't like saying it. It just feels horrible. I would take care of my kids. I would provide for them financially. I would also be in their lives. I'll be on the phone. We'll be kicking it. See? I might even come through and, you know, give my ex-wife a kiss. Because, you know, you never know. It may spark a little flame, family. We get into the flame. You know, then we get into that one guy that sing that song, that flame song. I can't remember his name right now. He's a white guy. I thought he was a black guy when I was a kid, but it's a white guy. I can't think of his name right now. Just you get it, you know, and we get back, you know, anyway. That's right. I'm always trying to get back good, even when we're good, family. You know what I mean? Okay. I'm sorry. I'm just being silly. I apologize. No, not Jim Morrison. What's his name, Dominic? You know what I'm talking about. Someone said flaming cookie. Yeah, it's Bobby Caldwell. That's what I'm talking about. That's Bobby Caldwell, family. Okay. All right, let's get back to it. Let me just play the rest of this and we'll go back to the other video.
I'm just speaking on behalf of black men who have no business being in the child support system, and we're purely there for the revenge issues of our baby moms. We have to take responsibility, though, Sister Judy, because we got them pregnant. Hold on. We have to take responsibility because we got them pregnant, right? So
it's not even that. It's that the child was born. I find it fascinating. I don't know if you guys picked up on this, but he's not speaking about the child. It's about the mother. No, it's about the child. You guys understand what I'm saying here? He can't even conceptualize in his mind that this is something that needs to take place for the child. He's thinking, because I got her pregnant, I got to do this. You guys see this? Fascinating. I mean, it's actually quite deep. How's it going, Swirl Girl? Thanks for tuning on in. Here we go.
I wouldn't even be saying this to you if I was more responsible. And because of that, I know that I cannot play the victim role, and I'm not playing the victim role. But from a black community perspective, Sister Judy, is child support part of our problem?
Go ahead. Here's another one. Check this one out.
No, not at all. The reason I'm going to child support isn't because I don't want to take care of my 6-year-old daughter. I'm going to child support because I refuse to give money if I cannot see my child. My daughter's mother has never allowed me to spend a single day with my daughter in her 6.5 years on this planet. If I want to see her, I have to go sit on her grandmother's couch. I don't have a problem paying for my baby, but all I asked for was 1 day a week, and neither my daughter's mother or her mother, the grandmother, have been willing to let me spend 1 day a week with my daughter in 6.5 years. She has never been with her father. So she's taken me to court to avoid working with me, to avoid letting me see my child, but yet they're up on Avenue selling.
See, he gives out their address. He does it in another video. I'm going to pull that one up later. So he's putting their lives in jeopardy in these regards, and he does it purposefully. He's petty like this. Can you imagine if he's doing this online? What do you think he was doing behind the scenes? The other thing is that custody and visitation are two separate issues. I know this, and I ain't never been on child support. I will never be on child support. Me and my wife, we're good. Child support and custody are two separate issues. If, in fact, you want to be able to spend time, and he has his supervised visitation anyway, so this doesn't even make any sense. It could have been with the other child. But the point is that if a man or a woman is unhappy about the amount of time that they're allowed to spend with the child, then you go to court and you rectify that, or at least you attempt to. So you can get a 50-50 split. You can get a 75-25 split or whatever. It could be 10-90, whatever. Okay, but here's the thing. Umar doesn't even have a home. Where the child going to go? In his mama closet? He doesn't have his own residence. Where are they going to go, in the hotel motels? Is he going to be traveling all over as he's running around crushing cookies? They don't even make any sense. You guys really think about this. And it's, yes, in fact, this applies to these older videos too. They're not even really that old. But if you're in a situation wherein you're paying for you're supporting your child financially, but you are unhappy with the amount of time that you're able to spend with the child, and you want to spend more, well, then you take the child's parent, the other parent, you take them to court to make sure that you get the amount of visitation that you just, and that's handling business. If it really means something to you, then you go and you handle the business, and the court will decide. And if all things being equal, they recognize that you're not being allowed to see your child in an appropriate amount of time per week, well, then they will court order it. That's what I mean by you handle the business. Don't get up here acting like a victim and then you want to try to blame black, in this case, Umar. You want to blame black women, and it's the baby mama's fault, and it's even the baby mama's the grandmama's fault too, by the way. No, you don't do that. What you do as a man and as a father is you go through the proper channels to make sure that you have the levels of visitation that you feel that you deserve. Okay, and the court will decide. I would find it very difficult. That's why they had you on supervised visitation. I'll find a court. What court would say, listen, this guy, he's unhinged. Look how he behaves online. He's ranting and raging and acting a doggone fool. He ain't got his, where do you stay, sir? You can't even provide that. How much money are you, do you have a job? No. What is he going to say? I have a nonprofit, but I don't pay myself, even though I collected $200,000 in 2023, but none of it's going to me. So basically I don't have any income, so I can't pay child support. This is the guy that's saying he's going to open up a school for black boys. This is the guy that's collected millions of dollars under the guise of opening up FDMG, the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. So he's not only is a scammer, but he's a deadbeat. And then he want to make all these excuses as to why he doesn't handle his basic responsibilities, period. One of the worst examples I've seen. Yeah, he says bulks. That's what Umar says. So it's not that I'm just paying in bulk. He's saying bulks. I'm just going to go with it. What he's saying is that it's not like every once in a while he just lets it accumulate and then he'll go ahead and pay it. No, over and over and over again. It's not just bulk. It's bulks. many, many times. Okay. It's wild. Excuse me. Thank you. Yes, I need to give me something to drink. Let's see. Holly B says Lenon isn't going anywhere because he's always smiling like the man in the the Ed Pill commercial that that used to air on late night. I don't know who you're talking about. I'm interested to go and look at that. Yeah, I'm good. I'm not going anywhere. And my wife, she's been with me through some very rough times where I was really down and out. One of these days, I wish I can share with you, and I hope to one day, maybe when I'm really with her, I'll share with you what that was all about. But she's been with me through everything. You know, I met her when I was 25. She was 21. See, we had our first child when I was 28. you know, I'm good, you know. But God forbid if there was ever a situation wherein we weren't together, I would still take care of my children. And I'm be honest, I would take care of her too. If she needed me to, I would take care of her too. It's not about victims. It's not about, you know, Umar being a victim. It's about the child not receiving what the child needs. And in that sense, he's victimizing his children by not providing for them financially. And I've been through that in my life. You know, my mother raised us 6 kids. So I know what it's like to not have a father around to do basic stuff. A lot of stuff I have to learn by myself. You know, real quick, just as a side note, sometimes, like when, especially with my older sons, like I would try to impart upon them wisdom, and it's really me trying to give them guidance that I, as a father, that I think a father should give. But I don't think that not that they don't take it seriously, but it's something that they've had throughout their life, so it's not extraordinary. But what they don't realize is that there are a lot of us, we grew up without that, and because of that, we were so lost. And in my case, I was so very, very lost. You know. That's part of being a father. You have to be present and you have to provide, and you don't act like you're a victim if things they don't work out with the mother. The mother is really not the issue. The issue is the children. That should be your focus in providing for the children. To be quite honest with you, I can't empathize or even sympathize with the man who decides not to take care of his children. It just doesn't register with me. I don't get it. I think it's the most natural thing as a human species for a father to do. Other animals do it. They'll take care of their kids. Some of these alligators be having their kids inside their mouth, swimming around. I don't know if that's the mom or the daddy, but these they take care of their kids. Not all of them. Some be eating them and shit. But most of them, they take care of their kids. So if they can do it, we can do it too. Okay. Now I want to go find out what this ED pill commercial is. You know, I don't know nothing about that anyway, family. Hey, thanks, Holly B. All right, let's keep going here. Black Anonymous says, check your email. Okay, I'll check it. Matter of fact, what I'll do is this. I think we're finished with this. No, I'll go back to this other video and then I'll go check it while I'm doing it. We got a new member, Bukari Kwani. Thank you so much for becoming a new member. I appreciate your membership. And all of our members, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Iceman Vamp says, Umar think kids can eat a year's worth of food in one day. Yeah, I know. You know, so he pays in bulk, but the child goes without for an extended period of time. That's crazy. That you don't do that because you're victimizing the child. Yeah, I grew up in poverty. I know what that's about. And really, when I think about it, there was no legitimate reason for that to take place. Okay, if everyone, I'm just going to say it this was, if everyone was handling their business like they should have been. See? Okay, so really, for him to do that, it's just horrible. And then for him to get online and act like he's an authority about, you know, when it comes to children, he don't even take care of his own children. He'll let his children, his daughters. My God, my goodness, he will let his daughters go without. That's not happening. Okay, if I have to, and really, YouTube is like a part-time job for me. That's how I approach it. I got my day job, my regular job, then I got YouTube. So really, you know, you can think of it like a full-time and a part-time job. But if I had to go pick up another job in addition to that, another part-time job, I would do it if that's what it means for my daughters to have what they need and my sons to have what they need, for that matter. Okay. Now I'm not here to talk about me because the truth is that I've struggled too in life. But what I'm getting at is that even though I struggled, there's still no excuse, because here we are. See. All right. Thanks, Iceman Vamp, for super chat. I would never. I couldn't do that. I can't empathize or even sympathize with the man who decides not to support his children financially. It doesn't even register in my mind. All right, let's continue. Let me go check my email. I'll be right back.
Acting like they're holier than thou while one day a week, and neither my daughter's mother or her mother, the grandmother, have been willing to let me spend one day a week with my daughter in 6.5 years. She has never been with her father. So she's taken me to court to avoid working with me, to avoid letting me see my child, but yet they're up on Avenue selling, acting like they're holier than thou while keeping a little girl away from her father.
Oh, the nerve of this guy.
I definitely understand when the queens mention that sometimes domestic violence may be at play. and women may keep the child away from the father for reasons of domestic violence. Unfortunately, I can't even agree with that, because there is supervised visitation. Working in the schools and having been a child therapist, I know that fathers who have abuse issues can visit with their children at family court. They can visit with their children at the police precinct. And of course, we never want a child there. Or the parents can agree on other places for supervised visitation, like church, the community center, another relative's home. So although domestic violence is a very big problem, sisters, please don't use that as an excuse to keep fathers from their children. There is absolutely no reason to keep a dad from his child. Well, brothers and
Okay, before we move on, listen, I want you guys to keep this issue in mind. And I got the email too. I'll pull that up a little bit later. Keep this in mind, the whole issue of domestic violence. Okay, because I'm going to play something after we get to this sequence, and I'm going to play the whole video. And I want you guys to, you'll catch it. You'll see what I mean. Yeah. Hold on. You'll see. Watch this.
sisters, you have to also keep in mind that a lot of us black men who are kept from seeing our children, we often sometimes try to be patient because we feel that we have an ally in the family. In my case, it was the grandmother. I thought that because we had an open line of communication, that she didn't necessarily agree with her daughter, and that sooner or later, that grandma power would come into play in my situation. I wasn't kept from visiting my daughter. I was never kept from visiting my daughter. I was kept from spending alone time with my daughter outside of the grandmother's home. So I was a little bit hopeful. It wasn't until I got the child support letter that because we had an open line of communication, that she didn't necessarily agree with her daughter, and that sooner or later, that grandma power would come into play in my situation. I wasn't kept from visiting my daughter. I was never kept from visiting my daughter. I was kept from spending alone time with my daughter outside of the grandmother's home. So I was a little bit hopeful. It wasn't until I got the child support letter that the hope had expired. Again, we don't have trouble taking care of our children, but time is just as important as money. And that's our.
First of all this is concerning, but I'm gonna bring up this other video. Okay, just keep all that in mind. I know it's a lot, Cookie Crush Chat, but y'all keep all that in mind. This argument that time is just as important as money is one thing, but it's another thing to say that instead of the money only providing the time, listen, you should be doing both. Again, I got a full-time, and basically YouTube is a part-time. I know it doesn't seem like it because I don't live stream, let's say 20 hours a week, but I do my research. I'm doing copious notes. I'm putting together shows. I'm putting together thumbnails. I'm communicating with people sending me stuff. Y'all know y'all, thank you so much. It's like a part-time job. I still have to be present in my children's life though too, right? So as an example, getting off to school, that's my responsibility. And especially when it starts cooling down, when it starts, they can't get this. I'm not going to have my daughters and my son walking in the snow to get to the bus stop. That ain't happening. Just get loaded up. We're going to get this heater going. We got a new car too, but get this heater going. And I'm going to drive you to the bus stop. And if you don't, and if you want me to, I will drive you to school. See, I didn't have that growing up. My dad, he was gone. See. But see, it's not just about the money, it's also about the time. So what I mean is that should not be mutually exclusive. As a father, you should be handling your responsibility in terms of the material needs, the financial needs of the child, but then also the emotional needs of the child. That means being present, talking with them. How did school go today? You got any homework? I always do this with my kids. You got any homework? I told them before they start, I said, listen, I'm going to be on y'all this year. Because your mama got other stuff going on. She just got a certification. I'll make the announcement now. I've been encouraging her, and I've been very supportive of her throughout that process, just like she was supportive of me. God, thank God. God is good. Just like when I was getting my degree, my wife, she was, very supportive. Yeah, I'm a blessed man. I don't mean to get emotional, but I'm encouraging her to go and get her associates and then go and get her bachelor's. And I told her that I'll support her all the way. So a lot of the household responsibilities, I've been on the grind with that. I've been super duper daddy duty, as it were, with my children, especially my younger three. Okay. And the reason I'm bringing this up is that it's not just about the money, it's about the time. And if I have to do that so that my wife, she can do what she has to do in order to progress herself and progress her life with all the sacrifices she's made, then I should do that. I don't have much time for myself or to do other things. In free time, I'm trying to get some sleep. Okay. So I just want to make this point to you men who's listening to Umar and this irresponsible rhetoric. No, it's not just about the money. It's not just about the time. They're not mutually exclusive. It's about both. And you're supposed to do both for your children. All right, let's continue.
Trouble taking care of our children, but time is just as important as money. And that's our only message to Black women. Time is just as important as money. To my beautiful Black sisters, there is something that you all have to take responsibility for. And that is many Black women have friends, sisters, cousins, nieces, aunts, who they know are keeping the children from the father, and they don't say anything about it. And what I want Black women to understand is when you are complicit in this war of denying children access to their father, then you contribute to the ever lessening rates of Black men who marry Black women. One of the biggest reasons a lot of brothers are going outside of the race is they don't have other women in the community to advocate for them once the mother of their children starts playing keep away with the children. And until Black women start holding other Black women accountable, brothers are going to stop marrying you.
So because Black men aren't taking care of their responsibilities in terms of take care of their kids, paying the child support and spending time with the kids, that it's the fault of the women who are, and they're being put on child support, that it's the fault of the women who are in the community who are not checking these men's baby mamas. He's a piece of work. I have so many receipts on him talking like this when it comes to child support, but I have something that takes this even further. And then I want to get into some of these comments too. I've looked in here, and I want to make sure we get into this because people are sharing some stories when it comes to their family situation, and in some cases child support. Remember, I brought up the issue of domestic violence. Okay, hit the one if you guys remember, just so that I can refresh everyone's memory. What Umar he brought up that issue of domestic violence. One of the most telling videos out of all the videos when it comes to Umar in his lack of fatherhood was done in and around the time where he had a court hearing. And after the court hearing was over with, he went to this location, and at this location he was talking. And one of the things he brought, and this is around the time from these other videos where he's talking about child support, that in particular the one that I just played. There's two of them in point of fact. This is very telling. So keep that in mind, the issue of domestic violence. Check this out.
Like, Doc, you shouldn't have done that video the other day we talked about your baby mom taking you to child support court. I had to. Right. God forbid, if I died today tomorrow, who gonna tell my daughter that your father loved you? Exactly. And the only reason why he wasn't there because your mom kept him out. Somebody got to let her know that. Because her mom ain't gonna tell her the truth. And her grandma ain't gonna tell her the truth. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta drop a couple little tidbits. I didn't go in too deep, just enough. So somebody can pull, it's something happened to me. Because what I think is so selfish about what my mother is doing is my life, my work is a very dangerous work. You don't know how long this man got, and you keeping it from his baby. And my baby girl looks just like me, you understand? And my oldest daughter, she almost at the age where she's free to do what she wants. So we're going to be able to build that relationship better. You see what I'm saying? Because she's almost free. But my baby girl, she's starting off. We need that time. And the fact she would take me to child support when all I asked for was a day a week.
See, it's not an issue of time. It's an issue of providing for the child financially. This guy was raising millions of dollars. He's raised millions of dollars. It's incredible that he can get up here and lie like this.
I said I would give you the money. I just need a day a week. She don't even want to give me a day a week, though. My baby girl's 6.5. She never been anywhere with me in 6 years, bro. Not to the movies, the zoo. If I want to see her, I got to go to the grandma house. For what? For what? Because I didn't marry you? For what? You don't do that. But that's what they doing. But they right up doing.
And I apologize for this beat being so loud, but this is where he's giving his child's mother's address, business address, and the business was owned by the grandmother and his child's mother, and it's really putting their lives in jeopardy, because you never know what crazy Umar Johnson follower may be hearing this and then goes up there to confront them. He did the same thing to me. He tried to punk me and try to intimidate me by putting out my personal information. I also remember, and I apologize for saying this now, but because I should keep playing here. But I also remember I did a video where someone had sent to me in a message where they were asking me what should they do, because they were, I can't remember if it was a woman who said that she was lesbian, or if it was a young man who was saying that he was homosexual, but he was struggling with it. And so I did a video, and in the title I put, I'm struggling with being a homosexual or something, or lesbian or whatever. It had to have been homosexual. It had to have been. So what Umar did was he took the title, he took a screenshot of that title, and then an image of me in the video, and he posted it on his Instagram page as if to allude to this notion or this idea that I was saying that I was homosexual and that I was struggling with my sexual identity. No, someone had sent me a question, because I do these question and answer videos. They sent me a question. This person was a younger person that was struggling with these issues, and I did a video to kind of talk with them and to offer them encouragement. These are acts of intimidation. Threats of physical violence. He's done that, talking about pull-up team and how they were going to come to my house, and he puts out my personal information, including my home address at that time. That's no different than what he's doing here, except he's doing this towards his child's mother and the child's grandmother, and by proxy to the child, because who knows if the child is up there while the mama and grandmother are there at that place of business, and someone shows up, one of Umar Johnson's followers, who knows what may happen. This goes to show you what type of a person that he is. I can't even say what type of a father, because he's not even manly. That's not manly behavior. Let's continue.
For what? Because I didn't marry you? For what? You don't do that. But that's what they doing. But they right up there. To get the address, because I would damn well tell you. Because I want everybody to go to my sister and my selling them vegan platters, talking that.
He gives out their name.
Soul vegan shit. They say, why can't this man see his baby without y'all sitting in his face?
See, it's like he's trying to get his followers to do his dirty work. You guys catch that?
You know how belittling that is? You a grown man. And you got to go sit on your daughter's grandmama couch.
It's the ego, the narcissism, the sense of entitlement. You do what you have to do. As a father, if you got to swim across the ocean to go be with your child, you swim across the ocean. I would. You got to climb over a mountain, you climb over a mountain. I would, without hesitation. I may not make it, but I'm going to try.
All right, you go talk to your daughter.
With everybody in the family looking at you.
I'll ask that question.
You see what I'm saying? But they up there perpetrating this conscious vegan, and the little girl can't even see her father, and her father happened to be one of the biggest movers and shakers we got, and she can't spend time alone with him because of the mother's hatred issues. And then somebody said, well, maybe he's a domestic.
See? Somebody said, what you mean somebody said? No, you're saying it because you're projecting. He didn't even want to finish because see, that's what you call a half of a Freudian slip. He's telling the truth. He didn't want to say that. It was just, he just comes out and then he has to stop himself. Okay. There's so much more. And I have so many other examples of this, but for time's sake, we're going to leave that particular issue in terms of Umar, the receipts on Umar in video format. I have a whole bunch of other ones that I have inside the folder. If we have time, we'll get to them again. But I want to go back to the original video. But before I do that, I just want to pick out, excuse me, I need to give me something to drink. I need to pick out, if you guys don't mind, let me give me some drink while I'm talking. I'm going to pick out a couple of comments inside of the chat room. One of the things I'm trying to do more is to have more engagement. And I've also actually been taking calls for the shows that we've been dealing with politics. And we actually took a phone call, a couple of calls yesterday during the live stream dealing with Umar. So I think we'll continue with that trend. But today I want to try to see if we can get, we're not going to make it. That's okay. Because the thing I wanted to get to Costco because they got toothbrushes on sale and they got pads on sale. I was going to get a gang of them. Anytime you can save on pads, you got to save on them pads. I should have got them the last time I was here, but I was trying to be frugal. Anyway, let me just pick out a couple of things inside the chat room if you guys don't mind. Yeah, I have that too, Bridget. And I don't know if I actually pulled that up, but Umar did get mad at his father, Jamal, because his father saw one of Umar's daughters during a time period where Umar wasn't even seeing his daughter. And he was mad because his father was able to see. He actually felt betrayed. And he's speaking poorly about his father, in essence. I think I have it inside of this folder. I'm not quite sure, and I could pull it up, but I'm not sure if I actually put it in there or not. But I played that recently. Bridget, do you remember? I don't think it was a video. I thought it was audio that I played. Yeah, I think it was audio. I mean, I could find it, but it's okay. I think I've already proven the point that I want to prove there. Let me scroll down here real quick. A lady says, if the only way you can see your child is in the presence of another person, that's better than never. Now, I totally agree with that. You got to do what you got to do, right? What is Umar doing? Supervised visitation. What is he doing? Ordered by the court? Yeah. I remember we did a live stream where I brought up it was a website from a lawyer out there, and they were explaining on their website the different reasons as to why supervised visitations would be applied in the state of Pennsylvania. Okay, none of it's good. Okay. If he couldn't spend time alone with his child, how is he able to be around other people's children? Hello. See? And I can pull up receipts that shows him interacting with children that is completely inappropriate. Imagine sheer ego keeping you from raising your child because you resent being in the grandmother's home, a familiar environment for the child. Yeah. Famous says, and I'll do three more. My dad wasn't abusive. He was just a punk. My stepdad, however, was abusive, and I witnessed every bit of it. Told my sis the truth when she was old enough to understand, because I wasn't going to let, and then it cut off there. I wasn't going to let him lie to her on our mom like that. Yeah. A lot of abusers, they do deny the abuse. My father did the same thing. My father was abusive from when I can remember. And when I say abusive, I'm not just talking about simple stuff. I'm talking about stuff that's like, I mean, how do you even come up with that? And I saw it all. I saw it all. That's why I tend to be very protective of women, and girls, especially my daughters. Okay, because growing up in an abusive household and seeing the types of things that I saw consistently, I knew even then, that's not what it was going to be like. Okay, and don't get it twisted. I can still get upset, and especially if there's a threat, I will flip into that mode if necessary. But I maintain calm and composure, and I'm here as a protective force. See, I don't believe a man should ever put his hands on a woman. It's not something that I even can conceptualize. It's not going to happen. Okay, but when you witness that and you grow up with that. It's amazing where abusers will deny all of that. They'll say things. And my father actually said this one time. He says, "I never hit your mother," and I just was so infuriated. There was a part of me that just wanted to jump on it because I was like, no. But thankfully, I kept my composure. This was many years ago. I kept my composure, and I didn't take it to that level. But abusers, they will rewrite the script in their mind too, and deny all of the pain and suffering that they cause. Let me share something else with you. I haven't shared this publicly because I tend not to talk about my private life and personal stuff like I used to because of cybersecurity reasons. I've gone through a lot since covering Umar. But it wasn't, but a couple of months ago, my father called me. I hadn't heard from him probably in about 6 years. I remember when the stuff happened with my son, he didn't even call to check on anybody. He didn't call to check on me, didn't call to check on my son or anything like that. But he's been absent since I was probably around 13, 14 years old. And then I may have seen him maybe 7 times since that time. I've talked with him more than that. Now it's less than that, probably 5 times. I may have talked with him maybe 9 or 10 times since that time. And there was a time period when my wife and I, especially when our older boys were toddlers and young, we were trying to involve him to try to see if he would be interested in being part of their lives. But it just didn't pan out. He'd make promises. I'm going to show up. He didn't show up. I'm going to get this for them. He didn't do it. And at a certain point, I told my wife, this can't go on because that's precisely what he did to me. And I'm not going to have the same thing done to my children that was done to me. Anyway, when he contacted me because his half brother had passed away. And the pattern that I noticed was that my father would only reach out when he was struggling with something, not because I was struggling with something or my wife was struggling with something or something happened with the children. It was always when he was down and out because something took place in his life and he needed to talk with me. And the pattern was that when he would reach out, very rarely, that I would console him and make him feel better about it. And you know what? This last time when he did that, I actually did that. I remember the phone rang. It was really late. It was probably like 2 a.m. And my wife thought someone had died because I was talking on the phone and I was consoling. I think I stepped out, and she was still in the room. And memory serves me, I can't remember exactly, but anyway, I spoke with him and I consoled him on that. And then for the next couple of days, he was texting me as if he had been in my life, for the last 30 years. When in point of fact, he'd been absent. And at a certain point, I thought about it and I said, this shit can't keep going on. It just sets a very bad precedence that being going to your children simply because you're going through stuff when you are going through stuff, but then not being a part of your children's lives and not supporting them on any level for over 3 decades. Yeah, 3 decades. Wait, it's more than 3 decades. It just doesn't work that way. You have to build relationships over time. And I have to stop myself because it was in my nature to say, okay, let me console him like I had done many times before. But then I told myself, you know what, I can't do this anymore. And so he would call every once in a while. He would call and then he would text, and then at a certain point, I just blocked him because I'm not going to go back down that path. The point that I'm getting at is that what we do as fathers in our lives, it does matter, and what we do as mothers too, by the way, for you women out there. And that if you're going to try to come in on the back end when you're struggling or you're suffering because of a particular situation into your child's life, but you weren't present at all in the beginning, and you were an abuser too. No, it just doesn't work that way. You have to build relationships over time, and you have to build those relationships with your children. You have to build the parents or grandparents need to develop the relationships with the grandchildren and also with your spouse, et cetera, et cetera. And that way, when you come of age, and everyone comes of age at a certain point, you have something to fall back on. And my father and I, we don't have that. Okay, and it's not because of anything that I've done. I'm trying to handle business, keep my family afloat. It's because of his negligence. He never really cared, and he still doesn't care. In fact, he probably tried to reach out to me over the last couple of days because there's someone else who passed away in the family. And I'll just say it, it's my father's brother. I didn't know him that well, but he passed away a couple of days ago. But again, you have to have relationships established, and you can't only reach out when you need something. You have to be there for your children, and you have to be there for your children's children. And that's what I intend to do so long as I'm on this planet. These are some things for people to think about, and then abusers will act like all of the abuse that they did to your mother, or that they did to you, or that they did to your siblings, that none of that happened. When in point of fact, all of us, we know that it happened. It's something that I still don't quite understand, how you can get to the point of that level of delusion, and then you expect everyone else to fall in line. Life doesn't work that way. We have to be honest. We have to be truthful. And above all else, if we have children, we have to be there for those children. And ideally, if our children have children, we should do our best to be there for our grandchildren. And hopefully someday I'll be blessed to be there for my grandchildren. We don't have no grandchildren yet, but when they come, well, I'm gonna be so happy. No pressure. Okay. Now, we don't talk about personal stuff, but I'm sharing it here. Okay. We all grown. It is what it is. Okay. By the way, I want to put the night. Jay says, at LenonHonor, that is how my husband and I have careers in cybersecurity. We both now work in cybersecurity as a career. Thank you for being awesome. Yeah, I'm sure you guys are doing fantastic too. Congratulations, both y'all in cybersecurity. Go ahead. And this is in reference to, I've really been on father duty to the extreme with my kids. I don't know how long it's been. It's been about 10 months. But that's because my wife, she wanted to get an associate. No, she wanted to get her certification. She got the certification. And then I was encouraging her to do the associates or the bachelor's, but I think she's going to go with the associates to start. And then she's going to roll that over into a bachelor's, and I'm going to support her all the way. And if I told her at some point you don't want to do it, I said, I'll support you on that too. Okay. That's what it's about. All right. All right. Okay, let's get back to it. Where were we? I want to play this. No, I think we've gotten enough of that. We don't have to go back to that. Let's go to the original, the video that came out yesterday dealing with Umar. I want to get back to that so that we can at least start to get close to winding down. Okay, I hope you guys are enjoying the show. If you haven't voted on the poll, please go ahead and vote. We have 536 votes as of right now. How many child support docket entries does Umar Johnson have since 2002? 37% say 25, 28% say 55, 11% say 75, and 23% say 95. Okay, I'm going to actually go through that, and I'll give the exact number when we get done with this live stream. If I remember, I'm probably going to forget. Okay, how's it going, Black Lulu? Thank you for being. Hope you're doing all right, Vixa. And you are dreaming. And Drea, of course, thank you so much. Thanks for calling in too earlier. I think that was you. Okay. All right. Here we go. Let's go back to this video right here. There's so much more I can show, but let's keep it on target. Here we go.
Mimi, where you at, me?
Oh, let me just share this too, and I apologize, everyone, because I don't want people to think that it's just a fathers are the issue, or that mothers are the issue. I mean, it just goes both ways. My mother kept me from my father. I called him at 16 and built a relationship. The mother ends up being the one hated in the end. If this is the case, his kids will find him. Yes, that's a good point to make. But you know, I've never heard Umar tell a story about his children. You know, that's telling in himself. I don't think he has any stories. I think he's been completely absent. See, a father who's proud and is operating as a father, you feel proud about it. You may know what I'm talking about. If you have kids and you handling your business, you feel proud about it. It gives you life, you know, and you feel proud and you want to be boastful about it. And even if your kid's cutting up, you still, you're still proud no matter what, right? Well, Umar, I've never heard him tell a story about taking his child, you know, to the zoo, or picking his child up or his children up from school, or dropping them off, or preparing a meal for them, or, you know, it gets later on at night and the child needs some pads, and who got to go get? I got to go get the pads. He don't tell no stories like that. That's because he doesn't have any. And so what I'm getting at is, if in fact these mothers were keeping the children away from Umar, then it will come out in the end, because at a certain point, the daughters are going to want to have a relationship with their father, and they're going to seek that. And then Umar should have some stories about that, but he doesn't. And that is, in my opinion, it is because they wouldn't want to be around him anyway. Can you imagine the type of drama that he's caused in their lives and in the children's mother's lives? Look how he behaved online. How y'all think he behave offline? Talking all this crazy sex talk and crushing cookies, and recording women, the body parts, while he's on the airplane, and recording this little girl who had on these short shorts, and all recording her legs, had the phone. She's sitting like this. He got the phone literally, y'all, like this. And then comments about how her shorts are short. No. See, it will come out in the end. Okay, but in my opinion, he was never there. They don't want to have anything to do with him. That's why they had to supervise the detention, because he's some sort of a threat, and I wouldn't be surprised. Not at all. I'm not surprised by that at all. Okay, let's get back to it. Here we go.
Hi, Dr.
That's right. That's right. I'm going to get me some bags.
I'm right here. I'm leaving out the...
I'll be walking. I'll be strutting with them, too. I'll be holding them like this. The women, they love seeing that, too. They be smiling. Oh, he's a good one. Yeah, that one there. Yeah, he's a good one. He's bald too, girl. Them older white women love that too. They be looking at Patty. We got a winner. Some men they don't like that. Some men don't like that. I'll be proud. Okay, let's go. I'm moving off. Here we go.
I know we was on the line not too long ago, but it got disconnected.
Okay. What Chicago, right, Mimi?
Yeah, I'm gonna show you around Chicago.
Okay, what's we talking about child support. What's your think on child support? Are Black women using child support to punish the fathers, or are fathers just not trying to be responsible financially? Because Tyrese got locked up for not paying his child support.
Yeah, I did see a clip of the Tyrese
But he paid it though. He paid it. He got right out. He's a responsible father. But they tried to make him miss his interviews for his new movie and his new music. They tried to
it's a little both for the child support, because I do see girls that pretty much
she going
want to put the guys on the child support because they may be considered jealous or whatever, like if the guy moving on.
Okay.
And then it's also
how's it going, Nisha?
It's also I'm on the phone with Dr. Omar. I'm on the phone. Say hey to Dr. Omar.
Hey, Dr.
Omar.
You said Dr. Omar. What is this? Wow.
How you doing there, beautiful? All right.
Hi. Dr. Omar, she real ghetto. No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Cut it
out. Yeah, Chicago. But so I do see what a girl.
She's funny.
Get off that conversation. We on the phone. This serious.
She said, "Let me pause this because she over here.
So
I
the
don't know what
girls
she doing."
in Chicago, so they do both. So they get jealous when the guy moving on. So they do it out of like malicious intent.
Yeah,
No,
Julius,
I got
Dr.
my baby
Omar.
on the phone, girl. Hello.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I'm coming in. So they do it out of malicious intent, and then they also do it because the guys, because it's a lot of guys here in Chicago, they don't like to take care of their kids.
Why you say that?
They don't like to
my
take care of their
Chicago
kids.
brothers, they pay their child support. Cut it out.
No, I promise you they don't. Chicago people is different from the other people in the world. I promise you.
Look at Omar. He's like, I don't want to hear this.
It's like everybody is.
Chicago is his own country, huh?
It's its own country. It's its own
Chicago.
world. Like
Chicago made me famous.
I like Chicago too because when I get away from Chicago, I get homesick. But Chicago is its own world. Like, and it's bad out here. Like, I got PTSD real bad. I even had to start seeing a counselor.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Well, thanks for tapping in, my queen. I'm going to get ready to run. Thank you for that wisdom. Okay, babe.
You didn't want to hear that. Hey, she got all her stuff.
Season. We got 2 more tap-ins. When you have your sons move to Delaware so they can come to the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. We're my Chicago Africans. I ride with Chicago. September 18th is my 14-year anniversary. I blew up from Chicago. I am Chicago's favorite adoptive son. Yassa Senegalese. I'm in the building. Harold Washington Center. I'm in the building. Such a gem going once. Such a gem going twice. Such a gem. Where you at, such a gem? Where you at, my queen? Hey, beautiful. Love the natural hair. Where you at, New York?
Thank you. In New York.
New York City. Yes,
traveling to school. Y'all gonna see the bus in the background.
Yeah, it looks like she on the bus.
What's going on with child support crisis in New York? Are sisters trying to punish men for not wanting to be with them, or our brothers just don't want to take care of their children? Where you at on the child support crisis?
I honestly feel like it's trying to punish them because I don't know. I feel like on a grand scale of things, number one, I feel like women should wait to even have kids until you're married. So the fact that we're doing all of this without marriage is already a red flag.
Okay, wait a minute now. Then should the men wait until they get? She young. That's all I can say. She just young. She don't have enough life experience. I'm not. Listen, I'm old, so you develop wisdom. See, if you're not too grown as a man to get up in them skins and to ejaculate in that JJ, then you not too old to handle your business when a child is conceived and born. That's the way I look at it. I would tell my sons the same thing. If you're going to be up in there and you're going to be doing it like that, it's going to happen. Somebody going to get pregnant. It ain't going to be you, but you can't blame the person to get pregnant. That's human biology. So that's on you. Did anyone force you to ejaculate in that vagina? No. In most cases, I should say. Is it possible for that to happen? Yes. But in these hypothetical scenarios that we're addressing here, no, that's not what's happening. We have men who are getting women pregnant. And there's things that you can do to not get the women pregnant. But if you're going to go that route and you get them pregnant, then you have to handle the business on the other side. It's really that simple. But this young lady, she doesn't have the wisdom. I also think she's trying to placate to Umar. Okay.
That's one. Two, I think it's this new hip hop society, whatever, that's like making it seem like baby mothers, baby fathers, like this is the new thing, like it's a wave. And I feel like that's really brainwashing. And then you have like the sexy red talk about put them on child support or whatever. It's like, it's all just, I just feel like it's all wrong, to be honest. Yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah, she's just young. She don't know what she's talking about, but that's okay.
I feel you. Do you think we would ever be able to create our own child support system in the Black community without having to go to white government? Do you think that's something that's possible?
Ideally, I do, right? But here's the thing. I feel like you would need to get all Black people together to band together, right? And it's like, how do we get them to go to that stage? I'm not too sure. But ideally,
I don't know what she talking about, to be honest with y'all. I really don't. I just think she's just talking. But that's okay. Here we go.
Yeah, I mean, that would be great. But
listen, coach, y'all, I ain't gonna lie. I'm a cobbler. Ain't nothing like it. I ain't gonna lie, family. We all grown up in here, okay? We all grown folks. Listen, I don't go down. I stay down. I wanted to tell that joke for such a long time. Anyway, you men know what I'm talking about now. Okay? Let's move on, Joe. Look at Harold confused. He's like, "Oh, did he just say color?" Got my thing, and the thing fell off. All right. My son walked by. I was like, "What is he talking about?" Okay. Harold was like, "What did I walk into?" Don't listen, Harold. Stop front. Hey, all you men, stop front. Okay. Oh wow. Okay, let's get back to it. I remember Umar said something about a cow. I said, well, I thought it was cooking. He said, no, it's cow. But I said, okay. All right, we'll go with it. Let's get back to it. Here we go. Wow.
I don't know. I feel like it is weaponizing. I feel like it's also a form of way to keep the Black men down, to emasculate them. And I don't know where we go from here.
I got you.
Yeah.
Thank you for wisdom.
This poor little baby. She looked like she about 19. Listen, dear. You need to cut it out. Listen, sweetie, we got to cut it out. Yeah. We must stay focused. She's just a baby, though. I shouldn't be. She's just a baby. Let's keep going.
My queen, be careful out there.
All right. Thank you. You too.
One love. We have too many Black women out.
Look at this bomb. I'm sorry. Look at this bomb in a motel room. Talk about child support. Anyway,
for brothers to be bunny hopping. We have too many Black women out here for brothers to be bunny hopping. We have too many beautiful Black women out here for brothers to be bunny hopping. Who tapping in? I got one more tap in, 1 or 2 more tap ins, and then I got to go link with my man Nick Cannon. 1 or 2 more tap ins.
Told y'all, he got some lunch money. Place to stay.
Sister Nicole going once. Sister Nicole going twice. Sister Nicole going 3 times. How you doing, beautiful Sister Nicole? Where you at in the world?
I'm good. I'm in the DMV in Maryland.
Say that again.
And where?
In the DMV
Maryland.
in Maryland.
DMV. Okay. Yes, indeed. What's your take on child support wars? Are Black women just being too thirsty for money, greedy?
I like her
they want
glasses.
to punish the men for not being with them, or Black men trying to punish the women by not paying, and they just don't want to be accountable? Where you at on this?
Yeah, Julie,
I think there's a mixture of both.
Kids.
I disagree with the last sister who said marriage is the answer, because I was married. I had 3 children in my marriage. And when we got divorced, I didn't go after child support because I did not want this system, all of that, to have to tell us how to raise our kids. That was a strong conviction.
Okay, no. The system doesn't tell you how to raise your kids. They're specifically talking about child support. There can also be the issue of custody. So I'm not quite sure what she means by that.
For me, and it was used against me. I've definitely regretted it because the struggle has been real for me with 3 post-marriage, post-divorce. And so I think there's a group that fits the narrative that's been said to this point, but I don't think that's all of us. There are some who genuinely want to work together and raise our kids and do what we should, even if the marriage or the relationship didn't work. And you don't always get, you don't always get buy-in to that. And if you don't, then you're forced to go that route, which is something to this moment I don't want to do because I don't feel like it's needed. I don't want to the system to have to tell us what to do with our children and how to be responsible. It's not needed. It shouldn't be needed, but in some cases it is. You don't have women out here that are all of us that are trying to use the system to keep our brothers down. That's not the case for all
Let
of
me
us.
ask you a question, Queen, because you decided not to go the child support route,
Right.
but you could have.
Right.
In your experience with our Black women, why was it different for you? Because a lot of sisters, I was in child support.
Yeah,
I'm currently paying child support for my 13-year-old beautiful daughter. My eldest is 22, so that child support discontinued a few years ago. But I paid for her since she was 6 months old, maybe 3 months old. Her mother took.
He's such a liar. Okay, let me pull up the receipt. If you came in late, I'm going to pull up the receipt right now. Again, his child support docket is so long that it truncates on the website. You can't even find this stuff on the website anymore. And it's been going on for such a long time. This is what he's referring to. This goes back to 2002. You guys can do the math and add. I think he said the oldest daughter was 22. Okay, yeah, this is 2002, and we're now in 2024. Okay, so it all lines up. I redacted the mother's name. I didn't necessarily have to do the docket or the case ID, but I just did it anyway. This is just to keep her name anonymity as best as possible, even though Umar put their names out there. Well, if you look right here, this is 2002, complaint for support. And then it goes 2002 throughout 2002. In fact, it says he was put on child support. There was a final agreement, but this guy, he's such a liar. That's all I can say. Look at this. Okay, and this is just one page. Here's the next page. Matter of fact, let me give you the years: 2002, 2002, 2002, 2002, blah, 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 2003, 2005. This is 2007, 2008, a whole bunch of 2008, 2009, 2010, a whole bunch. And you see these generic orders, that's where they're trying to find his employment so they can garnish his wages so they can actually get the funds to the child. This is 2011, generic order trying to find out. Here's order to suspend driver's license. So if you have an order to suspend a driver's license, that's what you haven't been paying. So what are you talking about, Umar? You're such a liar. This is 2011, a whole lot in 2011. 2012, that's when the order was to restore his driver's license. This actually happened twice already, right? Where his driver's license was suspended. Okay, more generic orders, 2012, 2014. This is when he starts to collect money for the St. Paul's school scam. They're trying to figure out where is he work? He wasn't working. Actually, no, he was working. He's working somewhere because it says order employer to modify income attachment. So we can say that. That's why I say he hasn't worked in 10 years. It actually lines up. Okay? It's been about 10 years. 2016, 2016, 2016, 2017, another order to suspend his driver's license. Those orders to suspend his driver's license 3 times already. That doesn't happen unless you haven't been paying child support for a significant period of time, not just once. Here's 2019. Here's order to vacate. He had bench warrants, generic order 2019. By this time, he had already collected $1 million, still not paying child support. Pro se on time. Okay? Understand that the money that people are sending to open up a school at some point is filtering into him paying child support. So you're paying for this grown ass bum. You're paying for his children because he's not handling business. He doesn't have a job. Think about that. This goes 2019, a whole lot in 2019, which is a year when he purchased these abandoned buildings. Look at this. 2019. And then you get into 2019, 2020, another generic order, 2020, order to vacate a bench warrant against the defendant. And then 2020, pro se contempt petition filed by the plaintiff. So March 4th, 2020. Let's see, is this the same one? No, this is a different one. Wait a minute, no, wait, hold on. 3/4/2020. 3/4. No, this continues. Here's 2020. Here's 2020. Here's 2020. Here's 2021. 21. 21. 21. 21. 21. 2022. 2022. By this time, the baby's grown. all the way in the last generic order was October 19th, 2022. Okay, so when he's saying these things in these videos, it's simply not true. Okay, he's lying about it. He's delinquent to the extreme and has been from the start, and not just with that child, but with this other child too. Oh, this is Black in Arms. If we have time, we'll get to that. Let's get back to this video right here.
Immediately, because she wanted me to marry her. My 13-year-old beautiful daughter. My eldest is 22, so that child support discontinued a few years ago. But I paid for her since she was 6 months old, maybe 3 months old. Her mother took me immediately because she wanted me to marry her. And when I didn't marry her, child support became the punishment. Why were you different? What is it about a lot of sisters who they run straight to child support as a means of trying to punish the men? The ones who do, some have to go because the men are not being responsible. That wasn't my problem.
That's right. I didn't know that Costco sold them until I walked by. They just had it off to the side for some reason, and that's the first time that I've seen them. Because I've asked my wife, they got them there because we get as much stuff we can in bulk, especially drinks and stuff. But they had them set off to the side. That's the first time I saw them, and I should have just grabbed a gang of them, but I just didn't do it. And I've been thinking about it for the last 3 days. But hopefully they still have them there. I might be able to get there tomorrow. It just depends on by the time I get home from work. Here we go.
I was taking care of my children.
Thanks for that too, by the way. Everyone too. Thank you so much.
What made you different? Like, what is something men should look for when we're dating women that let us know that if this don't work out, she may try to punish you with child support?
That's so ridiculous. There must be something going on that hasn't, I'm not saying this as a fact, but normally when I've seen Umar, when he talks about child support, it's normally when he's in child support. I know he's bringing this up because of that may be it, just because of the Tyrese situation, maybe triggering him. And that's why he's talking about this. But I wouldn't be surprised if there aren't any other entries into the child support. The last entry that I have for the younger child was 2017. But 2022, October 19th of 2022, that's the last entry, and it was a generic order. They're trying to find out where his income is coming from. They're trying to find out if he's employed. And see, that's another reason why he doesn't want to work, because they're going to take that money out of that paycheck. So what he does is he just runs a school scam. Last year, he stated for 2023 that he collected $200,000, but he's not paying himself. I always wonder why he wasn't paying himself. Now he's still taking money and using to live out his lifestyle. But I'm talking about on paperwork, he's not paying himself. The reason why he's not paying himself is because if he pays himself, then the amount that he pays himself would be subject to wage garnishment for child support. Well, it's crazy. And this guy wants to open up a school for black boys and teach them how to become men, alpha males. Crazy. Yeah, I did that. I had to do that. Okay. I know I ain't got all, but if you can't do that, then all right. How can he be taking care of the 13-year-old and he's traveling nonstop? Taking care of children is not just paying money. Yeah, absolutely. See, but it just goes to show you he's absent. He doesn't have any stories either. He can't tell one story about his children, his daughters. And that's just the children that we know about, that we can verify. I've had some other people send me information, but I can't verify it, so I'm going to leave it at that. See, if you can't tell, that's all. How is it possible for him to be the primary caretaker of his mother, by the way, if he's traveling nonstop? He's all over the place. See, the idea of Umar even having custody, where would the child go? What is he going to, for a week, be stable somewhere, even though he doesn't have a home? What is he going to do for a week? He's going to stay in a hotel, motel, and that's where his daughter's going to come to spend time with him. And then after that, on Friday, he dropped the child off back at the mama's house. It just doesn't. That's crazy. It don't even make no sense, does it? None of it makes sense because Umar's homeless. See, all of this stuff about how, these black women, I don't get it. I really don't get it. But these single mothers, the baby mamas, quote unquote, baby mamas, that they're trying to destroy us, and it's vengeance, and they're trying to get revenge, etc., because we didn't marry them. Umar cut it out. And yet Umar doesn't even have a place to stay. You don't even have your own home. You don't even have your own vehicle. Umar's like a dependent, like a 16-year-old. So what the court's going to say, yeah, we're going to give you custody. Custody for where you going? You got to have a place, a stable residence in the first place. You should also have a stable job, Tommy. But Umar, he doesn't have any of that. But he's gonna flip this around and make it seem like it's black women's fault. But he always does that because y'all be sabotaging him. Anyway, it's ridiculous. He's traveling over the world. So where the 13-year-old gonna go? In his mama's closet? See, it's just it don't make no sense. It's not meant to make sense because he's a deadbeat through and through. I think Steve, that is all. It's actually kind of embarrassing when I think about it. Not to be disrespecting towards Umar Johnson followers, although it makes it very difficult for me sometimes. We had one called in. I wish I was more compassionate or I had more patience. But at this stage in this game, it's not a game, but at this stage in my research and everything I've gone through, I just don't have that same level of patience for these Umar Johnson followers. How can you as a man, for a woman for that matter, but I'm speaking to you men, how can you as a man support Umar on anything when this guy doesn't even take care of his own seed? And this is coming from a man who struggled mightily. But I've always been here. And things get better. That's one thing I can tell you. If you're younger and you're struggling, if you commit to doing better, you handle the business and you do better day by day, life will get better. It's a matter of commitment, dedication, determination, and patience. And faith. Faith goes a long way too, because you got to believe in something. Otherwise, you'd be like, man, okay. But let's be clear about that. How can you believe in someone like Umar Johnson or support Umar or defend him? He don't even take care of his daughters. Come on now. And you're right. Taking care of children is not just paying. You got to be present too. I talked about that earlier. And being also simply being present isn't enough because you got to take care of them financially too. All right. Baby, you got to eat, right? Okay, let's get back to it. Here we go.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with where they come from. I think vetting a partner has a lot to do with where they come from. Meet their parents, find out about their story. I grew up in a single parent household. My mother and father were college sweethearts. They got divorced when I was very young. My mother remarried when I was 5. So I watched how my mother navigated my situation with her ex-husband, my father. And so that was a very important blueprint for me in terms of doing your best, and not that they were perfect at it, but doing your best to work together so that it didn't require going that route. Okay. And it wasn't always successful, but I think that was a really important part of my perspective, right? Was what I saw. Now, the opposite can equally be true. You can have someone that came from a horrible, traumatic, toxic environment and make the choice to have the opposite because of the effects that had on them. So it's one of those things where finding out the history, I believe, is a really big part of adequately vetting a partner. Finding out where they came from, what kind of environment they were raised in, what type of values that produced in them, and as a result, what do they want in their parenting journey? And asking the questions: if we get married and it doesn't work out, then what? Nobody gets married with the intention to get divorced, but it happens. The statistics are wildly accurate, more than half, right? So then having the conversation about where did you come from? How did that affect you? What do you want futuristically? And the what ifs. If this doesn't work, what's the plan? If we are equally committed to the children that we bring into this world, regardless of how our relationship may twist and turn, right? And of course, all this is hypothetical, but I think a lot of these conversations aren't being had prior to marriage or prior to non-marriage that is sexual, right? Either way, they're very important discussions that I don't think we're having so that we're going in blind. And then if you're dealing with someone who already has children, that is your blueprint. And women do this all the time. It blows my mind how women will believe whatever story because we're just so desperate to have a man that you're not vetting. If you want a part of the breakup of that relationship, you need to sit down with that woman and ask, what type of father is he, right? What type of relationship do you have with him as a co-parent? Not anything romantic, assuming the integrity of that is intact and you guys are done, you're co-parenting. What does that look like? Because if that is not intact, and then you go and have a kid with him and expect things to be different, then who was really bamboozled here? You know what I'm
Yeah, you're
saying?
right.
Like,
Yeah.
we can't put all that on the men. Like, we have a lot of responsibility as women. And again, you talked about this earlier. Are we holding one another responsible? The answer to that in large part is no. And it isn't just
Good
about
question.
child support either.
Great. Let me ask you this before I let you go, my queen. Some brothers argue the reason why they're going to the snow bunnies is because if it don't work out, the snow bunnies are less likely to put them on child support. They're not as vindictive as Black women if the relationship doesn't work.
What? It's not. Everybody's put on child support. Umar, what are you talking about? This guy is nuts. Everything to disparage black women.
Do you agree with that? Is that necessarily true? Do you think white women take it a little easier on the brothers who are not at the top of the pay chain? Or is that just an excuse to snow bunny hop?
I think both. I think it's definitely an excuse for the bunny hopping. I think the launch.
This doesn't even make any sense. I don't get the logic here. I'm trying to, let me go back.
And again, you talked about this earlier. Are we holding one another responsible? The answer to that in large part is no. And it isn't just about child support.
Great. Let me.
Yeah, Drew, I'm sure they do. But hold on, I'm trying to understand what he.
Ask you this before I let you go, my queen. Some brothers argue the reason why they're going to the snow bunnies is because if it don't work out, the snow bunnies are less likely to put them on child support. They're not as vindictive as black women if the relationship.
Where are you getting that from? Doesn't even make sense.
Doesn't work. Do you agree with that? Is that necessarily true? Do you think white women take it a little easier on the brothers who are not at the top of the pay chain? Or is that just an excuse to snow bunny hop?
I think both. I think it's definitely an excuse for the bunny hopping. I think the laundry list of those is forever, right? The excuses. But I do think there's some merit to that argument. But in order for us to give merit, we have to talk about why. White women are not exposed to the type of trauma we are. White women don't know what it's like. Most of them were born into the privilege of being white and female. So the idea of needing a court system to make your partner, your ex-husband, your boyfriend, whoever he is, show up for your children conceptually is foreign to most white women. So that's not something that they're running.
No, that's not true at all. White women will take, they will use the, what are you talking about? It's not a race issue. Asian people, they'll take them to court too. Latinos, everybody. I don't get it. You know, what this kind of implies is that black women are a serious problem, whereas other groups of people that they wouldn't go to these extremes. And part of it is because, you know, we're subject to all this trauma, et cetera. No. It's not a race-based issue. See, really what it is it's an issue of men not doing what they're supposed to do. It's really that simple. But Umar doesn't want to go there because he's a deadbeat. Already provided all the receipts for that. This does not make any sense. It also kind of, I could be wrong about this, but what it kind of, it's part of this is almost like setting up this dynamic where white women are better in some sort of way because they don't take these black men, you know, to court for child support like black women do. Why would you say something like that? It's demeaning and disrespectful towards black women. It's derogatory. However you want to justify it. Well, you know, they have privilege. Yeah, okay, but somehow they're better though, because Umar wants to spin it that way. They must be better then because, you know, they're not trying to use child support against these black men, but you black women do. Anyone catch that?
Are less likely to put them on child support. They're not as vindictive as black women if the relationship doesn't work. Do you agree with that? Is that necessarily true? Do you think white women take it a little easier on the brothers who are not at the top of the pay chain? Or is that just an excuse to snow bunny hop?
I think both. I think it's definitely an excuse for the bunny hopping. I think the laundry list of those is forever, right? The excuses.
Yeah, he did. He made that up.
But I do think there's some merit to that argument. But in order for us to give merit, we have to talk about why. White women are not exposed to the type of trauma we are. White women don't know what it's like. Most of them were born into the privilege of being white and female. So the idea of needing a court system to make your partner, your ex-husband, your boyfriend, whoever he is, show up for your children conceptually is foreign to most white women. So that's not something that they're running towards because that's not a part of their struggle.
Yeah, I don't know if this is true, but I wouldn't be surprised by this. I mean, we'd have to go and see when child support actually came into effect. I mean, I can go and look it up if anyone wants to post in there. I don't, you know, please do. Let's go.
So I don't believe to have that conversation in part without the backstory, right? The type of trauma that most of us come from, the fact that most of us come from single family backgrounds.
You're absolutely right about this, Abundance. Black women have been very forgiving of low male performance. You're absolutely right. And let's be real about it. They've been very forgiving of black men. I'll dare say it, and I don't want any of you black women to take this the wrong way, but I will dare say that the levels of support that and forgiveness that has been afforded to black men by black women is unreasonable. Please don't take that the wrong way. Listen, I'm almost 50 and I've been around long enough and I've seen enough to recognize this. I've seen it throughout my childhood. I've seen it as, teenager. I've seen it as a young adult, and now I'm getting a little bit up there. I've seen it over and over and over again. And it amazes me that someone like Umar he will use any and every opportunity to throw black women under the bus, even though it's been black women that's been taking care of this guy's ass for decades. Literally. His whole life, black women have taken care of him, including his mama who coddled him. His whole life, black women have been taking care of his bum ass. And he has the nerve to get up here on the internets in a hotel motel that mainly black women are paying for through donations for a school that does not exist. And he's going to flip this script to make it seem as if you black women, you guys ain't shit. Please don't take what I said the wrong way. It's just something that I observed. It's one thing to be supportive. It's one thing to, want the best and you stick with it. But I've seen it where it's gotten unreasonable. I've seen it time and time and time again. Other one would have been gone a long time ago. Umar should be thankful and grateful to all of the black women around the world that have supported this clown for his whole life. He should not have anything negative to say about any black woman, because black women are the ones that have not traditionally have held us in place as a community for decades. But when it comes to Umar, they're the main people on the planet Earth that have supported this clown and allowed him to live a life as a scamming, deadbeat, no child support paying cyber bum. Umar, I know you watch these. You should really be ashamed of yourself, sir. But you ain't got no shame. But you should be ashamed of yourself. I rarely shame people, but come on now. This is ridiculous, over the top. Are there any men that are going to call in here to check Umar on this foolishness? Let's see.
Right? We watched our mothers struggle. Most of us, not most, the statistics are high of those of us that did not come from two-parent environments. So we've already got a predisposure, right, to the struggle that's involved. If you saw your mom struggle as a single parent, then if you have a baby with someone who you think might not be a good dad, running to child support as your safety net, I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying there's a backstory involved in that is not the story of our white counterparts. It's just not. So to have that discussion without talking about all the pieces is just not fair, because they're not up for the struggle we are. And most of them, if the men don't come through, they have dads, they have moms, they have family support.
They don't have to depend on them.
There we
Because
go.
they have that financial network. Good point.
We go. The people that have come through for me in my post-divorce journey are my parents. My mom, my dad have had to do a lot for me and for my children, and they shouldn't have had to, but I'm an anomaly in that respect, right? Most of the women I know that have the single parent experience don't have parents that either can, or some of them, their parents are already gone, right? So they're not in a position like the village concept that most white people come from. Most of us don't come from that. Well, right? So that's another part of it too, as to why the child support system is sometimes utilized. And
I don't understand. Maybe Umar and this young lady, they haven't lived around poor white people. The vast majority of the white population, they're not rich. You guys do realize that. Listen, I've lived around with poor white people. So all of this talk that, I don't get, I really don't understand where this young lady is coming from at this point. I really don't. Because they be having all kind of stuff going on with trailer park stuff, type of stuff, and with the meth and the baby mamas too. They got a gang of them, and child support and all that stuff, drunkards and all that stuff. It is, do that at all. It is. It's just ridiculous. It really is. Mr. Jamanison says, Umar ain't ish. This is gaslighting. Shame black women for asking the courts to make sure that the father that left pays support. Umar said black women are vindictive. Yeah, but that's how he phrases this stuff. And the white women aren't as vindictive because they're better. See, Umar, he really does. He has a very low view about black people. I've been talking about that more recently. I'm going to talk more about that as we continue with this Umar Johnson saga, because it's something that I recognize more and more since I've gone back to the archive to look at older the beginning Umar videos when he first started to come onto the scene and onto social media. And you see it there too. It's just I didn't put the pieces together. He has a long-standing history of seeing black people in a very negative light, but then also seeing white people as if they're so. It's not, the word's not even great, but no, the word is that they're superior. In all ways that they're superior, including that these white women aren't as vindictive as black women. That comes from a superiority complex type of dynamic coming from Umar. See? So I said it a long time ago that Umar, he really does have a very negative view about black people. It just becomes more apparent now, but he also has a sense of superiority that not only is he better than black people, but that white people, in particular white women, are better than black women. And that's very evident with what he's saying right here. He'll say that their white women are less vindictive, or that they're not vindictive like black women. Where does that come from? See, and the whole premise is faulty, because the truth of the matter is that the reason why Umar was put on child support was because he wasn't handling his financial responsibility. He wasn't taking care of his kids. And he still doesn't. But he'll create a whole story and put it on black women and then generalize it too. And then on top of that, put white women up here on a pedestal because they're not as vindictive. And that's probably one of the reasons why these men go and bunny hop. These black men, they go and bunny hop. It doesn't even make any sense. But it reveals Umar's true character. See, I would have more respect for a man who simply said, you know what, I wasn't handling business, but I'm handling business now. I'm not going to blame it on black women. I ain't going to blame it on nobody, no woman, period. I was messing up, but I'm back on track now, and I take care of my kids. I would have respect. But Umar, I mean, think about this, Mistress Monica. This has been going on for at least 22 years with this guy. At least 22 years. And he's not a school psychologist. He's supposed to be a school psychologist. He ain't got, well, anyway. Thanks for a super chat. Black women are vindictive. They've been holding down and then when I say that's just a terminology we use. They've been keeping the community going now for decades. A couple of 3 or 4 generations now, making all these sacrifices. But Umar got all this negative stuff, things to say. In fact, Umar's whole life he's been coddled by black women, and it hasn't stopped to this day. Here we go.
I'm not an advocate for it because I know some really good fathers who've been taken extreme advantage of by it. But again, I'm on the opposite end. I didn't do it, and I was definitely taken advantage of for that.
Thank you for that, my queen. Great wisdom.
You're welcome.
Great wisdom.
You're welcome. Thank you, Dr. Umar.
Take care. All right. I'm going to end with a brother. Brothers, tap in. I need a strong brother. I hope we don't get no Negro. We need somebody who could break this down. Black man, where y'all at? Black man, where y'all at? Let me go to pure vibes only. Let me see if pure vibes can represent for the unapologetically African alpha male anti-snow bunny kingdom. Pure vibes. How you doing, my brother?
What's going on, Doc? How you feeling?
Where you at in the world?
Maryland. What's going on?
Baltimore, Maryland. Shout out to the DMV. My brother, you're going to be the last person because I got to get ready for the Canon interview. You heard from
I got to get ready to eat. I'm just
playing. Sisters. My question to you, as it was to them, are black men irresponsible and they don't want to financially man up for the kids, so the women got to take.
Cherise, it wasn't something I don't get it. Nothing to be proud about. You're taken advantage of and still didn't put the man on child support. That's a disservice to your children. It is. See, the thing is that if a man does not support his child, then the next logical step would be to go to the court system so that he's forced to support his children, or his child, which he should be doing in the first place. And to not do that puts your children in a position where they may, depending on their financial situation, they may not have everything that they should have or that they could have if. But the other thing too is, why let the father off the hook anyway? It's his responsibility. See, I think that's part of the issue, is that there's a restructuring that needs to take place in the Black community in general. Okay, I'm not saying all over across the board, but in general, when the idea of being a father, intrinsic to that is that you take care of your children financially, emotionally, and in all ways, even if you're not with the child's mother. And that should be the standard. But the standard has been set so low. It's expected that we don't, that we're not active participants. In fact, it's a racial stereotype these days. And it has been for a long time, in point of fact. And see, the irony is that Umar, he epitomizes that stereotype and many other negative racial stereotypes about Black men. Don't run to work, don't have a job, got baby mamas, don't take care of their kids. That's all Umar. But there really needs to be a restructuring. And I'm not saying this as if it's going to happen tomorrow and collectively it's just going to be like that. That's not what I'm getting at. But there has to be restructuring in terms of what it means to be a father, what it means to be a man, and that intrinsic to being a father is that it is your responsibility, no matter what, to take care of your children, period. No questions asked. Okay? All right, let's finish this up. Here we go.
Take them to court, or are Black women using child support as a weapon against Black men who left them in the relationship? So is this about revenge for the woman, or is this about a lack of responsibility for the men? Where you stand at?
I think it's a duality. I think it's a little bit of both. I know a lot of females who kind of take advantage of a lot of guys. But I know a lot of guys who I literally have to call the ski mask gang and be like, yo, you not taking care of your kids. Literally, I know this one dude who I work with, he hasn't seen his kids in 6 years. He's 25. And it's ridiculous.
You
It's
sure
very
the mother
ridiculous.
is keeping him away, right? Okay.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
the mother, I talk to the mother all the time. She wants him. He just don't care.
Okay.
He just want to be out and about.
See how Umar wants to jump to his narrative, right? You see that? Y'all catch that? He wants to jump directly to his narrative. No, but that's not the case. Let's see what Umar does.
Be in the streets. I know this one girl who literally posts on Instagram every time she get a check, we going to the club. So it's a balance. Like, it's kind of like a lot of girls are like that. A lot of guys are like that. So it's kind of like we just need some type of structure. And
yeah, but how do you know that the money that she's using to go to the club was a child support? And if in point of fact that is happening, that's where a man, the father, would go to court and then just have the receipts. You know, Judge, I do have receipts where she actually says that she's taking this money to go to the club. Here's the video, sir. Here's another video where she does it. Here's another video where she does it. Here's another video where she does it. That's why there really should be a tracking system. I'm surprised that that's not in effect with modern day technology in terms of where the money is going. But if, in fact, if that was happening, then that would be when the man would say, okay, legally, let me go handle this. Let me go down to the court. We're going to get this. We're going to go down here for the child support court, and I'm going to present this evidence to show that the money's not going where it's supposed to be going, and that she's admitting it inside the video. And here's a few of those videos, Judge, and take a look. And you go from there. All right.
Unity, so we can figure out what to do to stop letting this happen over and over again, because both sides are being taken advantage of in the child support
system. I had brought that up earlier. When you say a card, is it like a debit card? Because that's what I was bringing up. And someone was saying that it was ridiculous, but they may have actually been responding to something else that in the video. So I want to apologize to that person if you weren't speaking about what I was saying. I wasn't sure because I thought about that, and maybe we were talking about something else. If the person's still here, if I offended you, I apologize. Okay, I may that may not have been directly at me. I thought about it while we're live streaming. Okay, but if it wasn't, I apologize. But I brought up some sort of a tracking system so where you can see where the money is going, when it's being spent, and where. And that way there's a greater chance of the money actually going towards the child. Okay, so that's what I was bringing up. I don't know if they ask. Yes, they have okay, yeah. Let me ask something else though, Ayo Jojo. Are these prepaid cards? And if anyone else may know, when a purchase is made, what does it document? Does it just document the total plus the store? Or does it document exactly? See, now that would be the next level where it would document exactly what was purchased. And that if there's any discrepancy at any point where let's say a mother or father who's paying child support, they're saying the money's not going towards the child, they can pull up the receipts and they can actually view them. It should really be online where they can access it and they can take a look at it and they can present it to the court. Say, hey, wait a minute, here's this card, but look at all this was spent at a grown person, a store that only sells grown people's clothes. You see what I'm saying? Or it was spent, it was whatever. It was spent on a car note. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Yeah, there should be a transaction history. I just wonder how much information would be on that transaction history. Yeah, I've never heard of it. Yeah. Are vasectomies reversible? I don't know. That's a good question. You know, I don't know. Anyone know about that? If you know, go ahead and post that inside. Here we go, Kev. That sounds like something Umar would say. Yeah, they spinning that hair weaves are us. Here we go. Oh, they are. Okay, so they are reversible. Yeah, I ain't trying to have no more kids anyway. I need to get me one. I'm just playing. All right, here we go.
I'm a product of
The
the
white man is
and
basically,
it's really hard.
you said the white man basically got us fighting each other while he played referee.
Like everything else, clearly, like everything else, literally on every single structure foundation that the Black community is going through, we are being put against each other, and the child support system is no different. It's a literally exact. They literally playing the same handbook, just putting in a different section of which is going to be. We're going to put them against each other in housing. We're going to put them against each other with children. We're going to put them against each other in politics. Literally every single system, they doing the same thing, but they just using the same old card, just putting us against each other. It's crazy.
Appreciate that comment, brother. Be safe down there and be more.
Of course, man. Y'all have a good day. Peace.
All right, God. Let me do one more, brother. That brother spoke. Let me get one more alpha male. I need another unapologetically African anti-snow bunny alpha male.
Yeah, but what I mean is, in terms of the transaction, does it show exactly exactly what was purchased? It would show, I would think, in most cases, it would simply show how much was spent in at what store. You know, but then there's other thing. I mean, hey, listen, I know this may sound extreme, but let's say on that debit, the card that they spend, whatever, however much, there would be that receipt that the other parent can take a look at, but then also the receipt of what was purchased needs to be snapshotted. If you guys understand what I'm saying, like with a cell phone, and upload. It could just be an app and upload it to a server, and then that server would have the actual receipt, and then a copy of the receipt, and then the other parent can go in to that app on their phone, and they can go and access it and see exactly what was spent. Yeah, that may be extreme to some people, but you know, I'm just thinking in terms of from a technology standpoint that is easily doable, and that would eliminate any type of accusation coming from another parent where they're saying, no, the money's not going where it's not, because it's a safety net for both sides. Because let's say one parent is saying, no, I'm not want to pay child support because, you know, that he or she's spending it on herself. But then they'll say, no, wait a minute, I have all the receipts. Here's the debit card transaction list, and then here are all the receipts for those transactions, and you can look and you can see clearly exactly what was purchased. So it would actually benefit both sides. I'm looking at it from the vantage point of someone who's never been on child support, ain't gonna be on child support, okay? And just looking for a solution to kind of remedy this issue of where a parent feels as if the other parent is not spending the money we're on the child. And that's one of the excuses that I've heard men make. They say, well, they're spending the money on themselves. That's why I'm not paying child support. Well, if that safety net is in place for both parties, I think that will resolve that issue, and it can resolve issues on both sides. Okay.
We have another unapologetically African anti-snow bunny alpha male out there.
Yeah, but why? I don't get that. Why would you still have to pay child support if you're 50-50? I don't quite understand that. Is that alimony or something like that? But that would be different. I mean, is it spousal support? I don't know. I don't know how that works. Okay. Southern B says, Lenon, please no. Here's a solution: fight for full custody, or let them shut up and pay up. They won't fight for full custody. They don't care about those. Yeah, there's many who don't. Yeah, I've been always of the opinion that if you have an issue with the amount of custody that you have, that you just keep going to the court until you get to at least try. But it's true that there are some men and some women, for that matter, they simply don't want the custody. You know. Yeah, but I found that fascinating. How do you get 50-50 custody, but you're still paying child support? I don't understand that. Okay, let's go.
Brother Bryson going once. Brother Bryson going twice. Brother Bryson, where you at, King?
Dr.
Peace and love.
Umar, what's good?
Peace and love. Where you
He
at
got
in the
his
world, brother?
RBG.
I can't see you, but I saw you earlier. I'm in the Bronx.
BX. What's your take on this old child?
By the way, that's not my fire alarm. That's the bean cooker thingy. I can't remember what it's called, a crock pot, but it's one of them fancy ones. I don't know.
Child support thing, brother. Are the brothers not responsible, or are the women just bitter? What's up with child support?
It's definitely a mix. I would say you got some bitter women out there who don't really, have their eyes focused on creating a real black family. But you also have some brothers out there who definitely don't even know what that looks like.
That's true. That's
I feel
a good
like
point,
it's
Eddie.
going to have to take some time for people to get educated to actually learn what a real family structure would look like.
Now, when it doesn't work out, though, why can't we agree
I hear that.
on how much to pay versus how much time to spend with the child? Why is it always a lot of conflict involved? Is this just
Wherever the baby wakes up and goes to sleep overrides 50-50? Really? Is that true? I don't get that. That sounds weird to me. Wherever the baby wakes up and goes to sleep overrides the 50-50. Well, that don't sound right to me at all. I don't know about that. Even when parents have 50-50 parenting time, the court can order either party to pay child support. Child support depends on how much each party, each party makes and the amount of time each party has with the child. Okay, I get that. Yeah, so I guess it's more. It's not just the time; it's also the amount of money. So in the brother's case earlier, maybe he's making a significantly more in terms of income than his child's mother, and as a consequence, he has to pay some form of child support. Okay, all right. He might be paying $25 a month child support or paying for school, daycare, etc. Okay, I get you. Yeah, so it's and again, excuse my ignorance, everyone. Okay, I've never been on child support, so I don't know all of these dynamics. Okay. yeah. Go on and eat. You looking forward to? No. It was this crock pot thing. I can't remember what these. Yeah, it's an Instapot. I always forget what it's called. Yeah, we made beans the other day. Okay, let's finish this up because I gotta go to bed. The mother may pay expenses in advance. How can you verify this? If they pay expenses, I don't even know, Boston man. I have no idea. Men coming from a woman go through the courts, or what you paid doesn't count. Okay. If you don't want to pay child support, get 50-50 custody, be an actual parent. Okay. Child support goes off of the total money that each person makes. Okay, not by 50-50 time. Okay, I got you. Thank you guys for the clarification. I appreciate it. Okay, I wish we had time to take calls. I think this would be a great show to actually take calls, but I got to wind this down because I got to get to bed. You know, when you get my age, you can't be playing around. It's like when it's bedtime, or at least when it's time for you to go to bed, you got to get ready. Right. Yeah, I'm getting it. Okay, I'm not the brightest bulb in the light socket, but I'm learning. Okay, let's finish this up. Here we go.
it to be paid? BX, what's your take on this old child support thing, brother? Are the brothers not responsible, or are the women just bitter? What's up with child support?
It's definitely a mix. I would say you got some bitter women out there who don't really, have their eyes focused on creating a real black family. But you also have some brothers out there who definitely don't even know what that looks like. So I feel like it's going to have to take some time for people to get educated to actually learn what a real family structure would look like.
Now, when it doesn't work out, though, why can't we agree on how much to pay versus how much time to spend with the child? Why is it always a lot of conflict involved? Is this just bitter endings, or,
No, that's simple.
Listen, Umar's such a clown. He doesn't want to hold himself accountable for anything. You're a deadbeat. It's that simple.
Because you could use children as, pawns, whether it's an emotional thing. You could use them in times like financial situations. Children kind of get like the worst portion of failed relationships because, like the brother just said, the white man has a foot within the structure to put black people against each other, especially within the relationship dynamic. And you touched on this You educated me about this on how it, goes back to the 1970s.
Yeah.
Listen. White people ain't got nothing to do with my wife and I and our marriage. Nothing. It amazes me that people would extend that level of power and control over a relationship between a man and a woman. See, they call it black power, but is it really? I mean, it's black disempowerment, is it not? Black consciousness, no, ain't got nothing to do with consciousness. That's victim mentality. That's perpetual victimhood. When you think that white people, they're the one dictating the quality of relationships between black men and black men, ain't nobody, no. Well, I tell you, that's crazy. Let's go.
First of all, it's crazy. I'm online. Not to interrupt you, doctor, but I'm online with Dr. Umar Ifatunde Oguntade.
Yes, sir. BX, what up?
The Prince of Pan Africanism, man.
No doubt, man.
I tell you, I can't wait to meet you in real life.
Yes, sir.
Obviously it was real life, but I have been awoken by a lot of your education.
Yeah, I know, right? You're absolutely right about that.
You are the Prince of Pan Africa. I tell everybody about you. People probably sick of me talking about you.
I appreciate you.
But much respect. Much
Be
respect.
safe out there in the BX. We'll see each other soon.
Likewise,
All right,
sir.
brother.
Stay blessed.
Be safe now. All right.
Respect.
He had his Pan-African flag. He's so happy.
Let's go with one more alpha male. I got to get ready for this Nick Cannon interview.
Let's see if anyone challenges
one more unapologetically African anti-snow bunny alpha male. Can I get one more unapologetically African anti-snow bunny alpha male? Tap in, fellas. We're going to do one more. I need an unapologetically African anti-snow bunny alpha male. Where you at, brothers? Where you at, brothers? Tap in. Podcast interviews, 215-989-9858, 215-989-9858, 215-989-9858. I might got to take a sister if I don't get a king. Somebody tap in. One more tap in. I got to run on out the Nick Cannon. One more tap in. Where the tap ins that I don't see no tap ins.
All right, that's it right there. Okay, I'm not going to play outro. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play one final video. It's like 4 minutes long. It's dealing with the child support. Before I do that, I want to close out the poll. If you haven't voted on the poll, now is the final opportunity to do so. Okay, I'll give you like 30 seconds. I want to thank everyone inside the Cookie Crush Chat. Thanks to the mods for handling business as well. I really do appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I did do another live stream earlier today. It was dealing with politics. When you have some time, I would encourage you to take a look. It may not be your cup of tea, but if it is, you may find it to be at least interesting. As of right now, we have 681 votes. The question is, how many child support docket entries does Umar Johnson have since 2002? Okay. The options are 25 docket entries, 55 docket entries, 75 docket entries, and 95 docket entries. Okay. I'm going to tell you all that the answer is 95. Umar has, and the truth is that it's at least 95 child support docket entries since 2002. Okay. And we're going to end that right there. Thank you so much, everyone who voted for that particular poll. I'll go ahead and close that poll out there. And then I want to play one final video. I hope you guys enjoyed the show again. And I won't do an outro. This will be it. Okay. Let me share this with you guys right here.
Head sister, beautiful black woman. I love black women. Black women, I love you. Even those of y'all who hate me, I love you. Okay? I just want y'all to know that. Black women, from the bottom of my heart, I love you. My mother is a woman. My grandmothers, they still with me. Both of my grandmothers. Grandmama Shoemake and Grandmama Johnson. Grandmama Shoemake and Grandmama Johnson. Shout out to Grandmama Shoemake. Shout out to Grandmama Johnson. Both of my grandmothers, I have been blessed to still have them. They are still with me on this planet. Okay? I love black women. I got my 2 daughters. I'm about to go to court for one of my daughters because Her mother won't let me see her. Y'all know about that whole situation. I think it's very, very sad. You know, for my brothers and sisters in Philadelphia who support Dr. Umar, I'm going to ask you to go about on that is.
I played the video of this earlier. There's no need to rehash. Yeah, let's close out with this. In addition to being a deadbeat, in addition to not supporting his children, in addition to making all sorts of excuses as to why, collecting millions of dollars too in the process, as to why he's not going to step up as a man and be a father to his children, this guy has the nerve to put out the baby mama's, one of the baby mama's business address, and he does give it. He gives out the business name. He does give it. I believe he gave out the website too. He told his followers to go up there and confront the child's mother. Well, what that means is, and also the grandmother too, gives the grandmama. What that does is that it puts their lives in jeopardy. It's really a tactic of intimidation. They're not doing anything to Umar. They're trying to live. They're trying to raise the daughter. But Umar has to take these shots, and in doing so, he's actually putting the child's mother's life in jeopardy, because you don't know what kind of crazy Umar Johnson follower might hear that and go up there, and who knows what may happen, putting the grandmother's life in jeopardy, and by proxy, putting his own daughter's life in jeopardy. That's the type of person Umar, I can't even say man, that's the type of person that Umar is. I can't even say father. That's the type of person, deadbeat, that Umar is. And the fact that he will use this situation with Tyrese Gibson as a jump off to be talking about how child support is such and such, and how black women are vindictive, but the white women aren't as vindictive, and you know it's a conspiracy, and they're jealous, and all of this stuff. The fact that he would do it just speaks to the type of person that he is, his character. Umar, you're an embarrassment, and you should be ashamed of yourself. But you don't have no shame, because you don't have a conscience, and you're going to keep doing what you're doing until the wheels fall off. In the meantime, I'll continue to cover it until the wheels fall off. Shame on you, man. It's a disgrace. Thank y'all so much for tuning on in. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks everyone inside the Cookie Crush chat. Everyone who sent in super chats too. Thank you so much. I appreciate all the support. If you sent in Cash Apps or PayPal, thank you so much. We'll probably be live streaming next Monday. And if we don't do it Monday, we'll do it on Tuesday. Please enjoy your weekend, and I'll have some stuff up for you members as well. I've been posting some pictures and images research material that I found from Umar going way, way back. And some of this stuff is some of the most craziest things you guys will ever see. So you guys can expect some more of those images coming up over the next couple of days. Okay, please enjoy the rest of your evening. I hope you all enjoyed the show, and love y'all. Take care. Peace.